But heaven is now. Look, we sitting up here, look, big screen. It's heaven for the moment. You know what I mean? Hell is jail. I seen that one. Trust me, this is what's real. And all that other is to control you. And all that other is to control you. And all that other is to control you. If the churches took half the money that they was making and gave it back to the community, we'd be all right. If they take half the buildings that they use to praise God and gave it to motherfuckers who need God, we'd be all right. We'd be all right. Have you seen some of these churches lately?
When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition is the way. Superstition is the way.
Welcome to the New Atheist Experience. We are live with Kweli, Kush, and Kwame Remesu. This is the show that strives to educate, inform, and grow our community by promoting reading, critical thinking, and secular humanism as a replacement for the heavily biblical worldview that has halted the growth of our people for over 2,000 years. It is the lack of scientific literacy, logic, reasoning, and critical thinking in our community that produces a public that is more susceptible to trickery, scams, and cons. Not only does religion make one less likely to value reality, but it also produces many of the ills of our society: racism, prejudice, and various superstitious beliefs. On this show, we encourage people to question their beliefs and their origins and how religious thought patterns affect our behavior. You can listen to this show as a podcast on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. You can also watch us live on YouTube every Sunday. We also have other shows on our channel, so if you like this show, you might want to check those out as well. We have a science podcast called Shout Out Electron and an investigative podcast called New Thugs. Those links are in the description below. If you love this content, why not consider making a contribution to help us grow our platform and reach more people? Your contribution will help us pay for various monthly subscriptions and equipment costs needed to produce this content. You can make a one-time, monthly, or annual contribution directly at our website, QualityKush.com. Every dollar helps us out, so don't hesitate to show your support. If you would love to contribute but you cannot contribute financially, you can still help out the show by clicking the like button, sharing this content on your social media, or by visiting the website QualityKush.com. Your engagement helps us rank better and thus reach more people. Check the description below for all of these links. Now, for all my Bible readers out there, for all my Quran readers out there, you've been reading the same book for generations and you still have not found liberation for our people. How much better would our community be if instead of reading the same book every Sunday over and over again, we read a different book every Sunday? Imagine that. If the preacher read a different book to the congregation every Sunday instead of the same book over and over again, how much smarter would the congregation be? Well, church, at QualityKush.com, we read a different book to you every single day. For free. You don't have to read the books yourself anymore. I read them to you, and all you have to do is listen. You no longer have an excuse not to read books. Because I know a lot of y'all like to say that you don't have time or you can't sit still. Well, now you can listen to books anytime, anywhere. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on these free audiobooks. And if you don't prefer the books that I choose to read, you can get 2 free audiobooks of your choice when you sign up for a free trial with Audible. That link is also in the description, or you can go to QualityKush.com and click the audiobooks tab. So make sure you share this content on your social media and help us grow our platform and help wake these people up. And without further ado, we're going to begin the show. You are listening to the New Atheist Experience.
Actually, read, you can get 2 free audiobooks of your choice when you sign up for it. Peace and Black Power. This is your host, Kwame Remesu. Welcome to the New Atheist Experience. I want to talk about the book of the day, 16 Crucified Saviors Before Christ. Y'all might want to check that out. It would go into depth on how religion has got started. So I would recommend everybody read this book. I don't want to spoil it for those who don't know about it. So just check it out. That is the book of the day. I want to get into some things about knowledge versus belief. Now, Christians will try to say atheists don't believe anything. Well, the thing is, we don't deal with beliefs if we don't have a good reason to believe in them. Okay? So, you know, when the Christians say, well, since you don't believe in anything, then what you think your purpose is? Who's to say that my life has a purpose? And it depends on the context of you using the word belief. So when it comes to, deities and superstitions and stuff like that, we don't believe that those things are real. But however, we do have beliefs based on the evidence that we have been presented day in and day out. Like say for instance, I believe my car gonna start when I get in it. And the reason why I have belief of that, because every day I start in my car, it has every day I got in my car, it has started. So my belief is based on the rational knowledge that I have with the evidence that's presented daily. So if I say, well, I believe my car going to start today, and then I go out there and don't start, now I know it's not going to start. So that's the difference. So belief does not lead you to truth. Belief and faith is not a pathway to truth. Belief and faith is the excuse that people use for when they don't have no rational reason to believe, for their beliefs. So like we got a caller, Adam. Welcome to the Atheist Experience. Thank you, brother. How you doing? Hello? Got a caller, Adam. How you doing?
It look like Adam, he joined, but he joined without his microphone on. So I don't know if he did that on accident or not, but he left now. But he was viewing only. He did call in, but he was joining on microphone only. I mean, viewing only, I'm sorry.
I can be heard loud and clear, right?
Yeah, you still can be heard. We both can be heard right now. But Adam, if you want to call back in, go ahead and call back in. I don't know if you were on your computer or on your phone, but if you're on your computer, you make sure that you click all the right boxes to turn your microphone or your camera on. And if you're on your phone, the control is *2 if you want to raise your hand to speak, *2. So call back in.
All right. Okay, so, all right, cool. So this is the thing that religious have been, and it's been baked into their mind that if somebody does not believe, then they're not a good person. That they basically are people that you don't want to be around. And see, that's that mindset that divides people. Like, say for instance, you got people that believe in the baptism, then you got people that are 7-day Adventists. Since they don't believe the same thing, they're not going to really coincide. But they're arguing over the same book of beliefs. And I think a lot of Christians reference to Hebrews 1:11, where it says faith is the things that's hoped for and the evidence of things that's not seen. I'm just paraphrasing. I don't know the verse verbatim, but I know it's Hebrews 1:11. So so we can break that down real quick. So if faith is the evidence of is the things that if faith is the things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, then that verse to me says you have no reason to believe it's real. In my opinion, I don't know. Somebody that's a Christian can call in and break that down for me. But why would you want to believe in things that are not there? To me, that sounds like you're okay with things that are imaginary. With that verse, that kills the whole. To me, that kills the whole Bible, because it's telling you to hope that it's true. That's what belief is. It's hope, gullibility, right? So when you have the evidence of things that's not seen, how are you gonna have evidence of something that's not seen? There is no evidence in the unseen things. Oh, Christians going to be like, well, you can't see the air, but you know it's there. Of course I know the air is there. I can demonstrate that the air is there. You know what I'm saying? I breathe, I can blow air on you. You know what I'm saying? We can measure it, but we cannot measure your God. See, my thing with beliefs is that you die off of beliefs. You know what I'm saying? You can't feed a family on beliefs. You can't go into anything saying, well, I believe it's true. And Kweli made a comment a couple of weeks ago to a lady, well, I believe that I'm 7 feet tall. Does that make it true? See, belief is not rooted in truth. Belief is only rooted in speculation. When you say, I believe in God, it means you don't know. And a lot of Christians or people that are believers, they don't understand that. They don't want to understand it. They can't fathom that there is not a God. They say, well, it has to be a God. Well, if you don't believe in God, then what do you believe in? Then where do you think you're going to go when you die? I mean, do you know where you're going to go when you die? Well, we go to heaven if we're good, and we go to hell if we don't accept our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. How do you know that? Well, it's in the Bible. You showing me in the Bible, but have you been to hell? Have you been to heaven? How do you know that your version of heaven is correct and then the other versions of heaven isn't correct? You see? That's all belief. And you feel like, and a lot of Christians are believers because they're afraid not to believe. You know what I'm saying? They think that the fall from grace is 90 feet when it's only 2 inches. And I'm quoting that from shout out to Jeremiah Kamar. Y'all need to go check out another book, Holy Lockdown. Y'all need to check that book out as well. But yeah, so we're locked into this system of blind faith and belief. And you tell a Christian that or anybody that believes it's only blind faith. Like I do security at a storefront, right, in North Dallas, and the cashier is a Muslim, so he has to pray. He like I remember one day like he had the line held up, like line was going out the door because he needed to pray for 5 minutes to this imaginary being. And I took a recording of it, but I couldn't send it to Kweli's phone. But I was like, man, you see this line going from the cashier, and people are getting frustrated. And he's telling me, oh, you need to make sure nobody comes into the store. I said, you're stopping business because you're praying to somebody imaginary. Then you get on the ground and people are watching you do this. Like, you're embarrassing the store. And I even told the owner, I said, are you going to continue to hire this guy that prays in the store? He has to pray to Allah or whoever he's praying to, thinking that, see, that's that superstitious shit. He be looking at his watch. You can just see when he cashing people's checks, he looks at his goddamn watch to see what time he needs to pray. I'm checking out the comments. Nobody has to see a heaven or hell, period. Nobody has seen. Shout out, Devontae Jones. Shout out to you. What if you don't have a proper function of sense? I'm not sure what that means, but you're more than welcome to call in. Let's see. Till X. You can't clothe yourself on beliefs. Exactly. Belief and faith. Well, I'm gonna wait till that pull up a little bit more. But yeah, so back to that. I mean, it boggles my mind to see that people.
Hello, Kwame, you still there? Your sound went up.
Yeah, I'm here. Am I good?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, my phone. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So, with this guy holding up the store and trying to stop business because he needs to praise somebody imaginary, that's not good for business, and people will start wanting to take their business elsewhere. I want to take a brief moment to, yeah, I know, Steve. But yeah, just call in and discuss. So let's have a discussion on this. Whether you're Christian, Jew, Muslim, whatever your beliefs is, just call in and see if we can get you thinking rationally. Yeah. So the numbers is on the screen. Call into the New Atheist Experience, and let's have a discussion: knowledge versus belief. So I want to touch on what knowledge is. Knowledge is rooted in facts, right? So we know that the sun exists. We don't need to believe that the sun exists. I asked a Christian one day, and she was talking about, well, you need to believe. I said, do you need to believe that the sun is real, or do you know that the sun is real? She said, I know now, but if I was in a cave I never saw a sun, and you come in the light, and you tell me about a sun, then I will believe you. I'm like, really? So you will believe that I tell you about a sun that you never seen before, and you will blindly believe me? I say, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would say, well, show me that this light in the sky exists, this big ball of fire in the sky exists. I'm not gonna go off of beliefs, because how do I know that you're gonna? How do I know you're gonna take me to a sun? How do I know you're not gonna pull me out of the cave to kill me? You know what I'm saying? People don't trust their own senses. You know what I'm saying? Because of the blind faith. So when it comes to relationship, people say, well, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you're being faithful. I'm going to get some evidence. But shouldn't you do the same thing? Shouldn't you do the same thing for your system? Shouldn't you question that? Now, men and women that are in relationships, they have a hard time trusting something that can be evidently proven. within their relationship, or with whether it's friends, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband and wife, they have issues with trust and belief. But when it comes to your imaginary sky daddy, you're gonna go ahead and believe it anyway, without even questioning it. You know what I'm saying? You'll question your wife, you'll question your husband. Where you been? Where you been? Where you this? Where you this? I bet you've been cheating on that. See, it comes to your relationship, and you'll try to go find out. You'll try to go do the research. You'll try to get some evidence. But when it comes to your beliefs, you're just gonna believe it, and you're gonna believe it because of some ancient book that you was told to believe in. And if you didn't believe it, then you was gonna go to some kind of place. And my thing is, how the hell do you know that you're gonna go to hell? And that's another thing with heaven and hell shit. And I basically touch on Christianity because Christianity was really used as a brutal vice to enslave our African ancestors. So,
Kwame, you got Shahid Kamanzi. He or she wants to know, what if you don't have proper functioning senses?
What you mean? I mean, if you don't know what proper functioning senses, I'm not understanding that. I mean, what do you mean proper functioning senses?
If you trust in your five senses to come to these conclusions, you using reason and logic to say that God is not real and stuff. But how can you trust your five senses? How you know your five senses are not skewed or off? Because you just the result of evolution. You wasn't created by some intelligence. So how can you trust your senses to come to this conclusion?
How can I trust? Well, like I said, it goes back to reason and logic. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have functioning senses, then basically you're stuck with your beliefs. But it's not good to be stuck with your beliefs if your senses aren't functioning. Say for instance, you're blind, right? And they say that the sun is out. You don't know what the sun looks like, but you can feel the heat. So some of your senses will basically let you know that there is some kind of heat source. You know what I'm saying? What if you can't feel, but you can actually see? You know what I'm saying? Or if you can't smell, but you can actually see. Say for instance, you don't know what pizza tastes like. You lose your taste buds. You can't taste anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you would want to eat. You know what I'm saying? Because without tasting something, but you know that it's a pizza. You know that you're eating a pizza. You know what I'm saying? Now, if none of your senses work, you're basically dead. So I don't see where that even lies in your scope of the question.
I don't get why they ask that question either, but that's a common question that believers tend to ask when you bring up this point that you're making about knowledge and belief. They say on their side, like I'll play devil's advocate, they saying basically you using your reason and logic to come to these conclusions, but they're above you because they're not using reason and logic. They're using something higher than reason and logic. They have a pre-known fact called faith. Basically, they have gotten this information from something that's not based on reason and logic, and therefore, in their mind, it makes more sense for them to believe it because you can't trust your senses because your senses were not made by God or whatever. It don't make no damn sense to me, but this is their argument.
Right. You know, it sounds like one of who's that? Who's that? A Christian apologetics? Who's that guy that was trying to not Richard? No, Richard Price is an atheist. But it'll come to me. But this is another apologetic argument as well. So I've heard this from one apologetic. I just can't think of his name. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Your senses can trick you. You know what I'm saying? But your senses will also lead you to the truth because your senses are physical. When it comes to this God character or Allah, whoever you basically deem as your higher power, you cannot test it. You cannot observe it. So you're going off your feelings.
It's just like
all is real.
It's just like debating a flat earther. You know what I'm saying? They want to say you can't use your senses to come to any conclusions. Well, what the hell else you gonna use? Because if I can't use my senses to come to the conclusion, then you can't use your senses. So what are we going to use? If we throw away reason and logic and senses, then what are y'all talking about? Y'all saying just go around here like a bunch of zombies? And then I say that's similar to the flat earthers because they always say, well, y'all don't have any pictures of the round earth, even though we do. Say, y'all don't have any pictures. And I say, well, do you have any pictures of the flat earth? Because if that's your whole reason why you think the earth is flat, then that go for you too, you big dummy. Where's your picture? So if we can't use our senses, then
Right.
how the hell, what are y'all using? You know what I'm saying? That like it's just it's a real asinine way to debate somebody. I don't know if they counting on you to not be able to answer the question because the question is so stupid, or they actually believe the stuff that come out their mouth. But they say you can't use your senses because they weren't created by God, but they can use
Right.
faith somehow, even though they can't prove that the God exists. And to add on to what you were saying earlier about the definition given in the Bible, or they say faith is the evidence of things unseen. That just that proves
No,
right there
faith.
that
I think it's faith. Yeah.
faith,
I think it's faith. It's things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Yeah.
that's it.
I think that's first.
But that just proves that faith means nothing. If you break that shit down for real, that means that it means nothing. The evidence of things unseen. So when you break that down, unseen means undetectable in the Bible. So they talking about not just like what you can see with your eyes. We're talking about stuff that you can detect. So basically, if I'm saying I got $1 million, but I can't prove it to you, my evidence is the faith, which is basically another way of saying I ain't got no evidence. So
Right. And like I said, Christians run to that Bible verse. Now, I have not fully read the Quran, so I might need to check that out because I'm pretty sure it's some gullible verses in there that teaches you to be gullible as well. You know what I'm saying? So, and they always say, "Well, I feel it in my heart." I said, "How does your heart feel anything?" My heart pumps blood. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see it feeling anything. Well, I think you're confusing your heart with your emotions. See, this is the thing. Valentine's Day is coming up, and everything is symbolized as a heart. Nobody feels with their heart. So that's another belief that your heart feels things. You know what I'm saying? But it's really your dopamine and cortisol that when you're overwhelmed with your beliefs and you're basically when the music's playing, like Kweli, I know you've been in the church and you see when that music start playing, that music rhythm, because we're black people, we're rhythmic people, and we're thinking we're catching the Holy Ghost, but as soon as the music stops, you stop. Then when the music start playing, you start back jumping and flopping around like a fish. Then the music stops, you stop flopping around, and then you start. So it's really the dopamine and cortisol in your brain that basically give you a euphoria that makes you feel like there's something making you move when it's nothing making you move at all but you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this. A belief in a God is a profound dynamic relationship with the self. That's why God knows you so well, because the believer is God. That's why you say, well, God told me this, God told me that. I seen a Facebook post, man, the other day. It said, I'm tired of you create something to me. Next time he tell you something, please record it so I can have some evidence. You know what I'm saying? So the believer is God.
yeah,
The believer is God. It's a profound dynamic.
When they say like, I ask Christian questions like, if God told you to murder your child, would you do it? And they'll say some dumb shit like, well, God wouldn't ask me to do that shit. Well, that's funny because you believe in the Bible, and I'm looking at the Bible where he asked, what's the dude he asked to kill his son, even though he didn't make him go through it.
Abraham.
But God orders killing a lot in the Bible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So who are you to tell what God won't do when I'm looking at the book that you say is God, and he telling people to kill people? But the reason why people say that is because, like you say, God don't exist. God is you. So they of course God don't disagree with your morality because you are making up this God in your mind. Okay,
so I don't know if this is a religious guy, but I'm what's the Shamari Yusufa? A necessary condition of knowledge is belief. For example, if John knows something in the propositional sense, he must at least believe it. How is that though? How is that?
Basically, belief is a subset of knowledge. So he's saying, I don't think he's saying he disagree with you. He just kind of like expounding on what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
So he's saying if you know something, you also believe it. But if you believe it, you don't necessarily know it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to reread because I'm sitting far from my TV, so it's kind of hard for me to read. So my TV's way across the room. I'm on my, so but yeah, man, I get what you're saying, my brother. I get what you're saying. But shout outs to you. Passover. I'm not understanding that. Spiritual anarchist. He says, I don't need beliefs for knowledge. Exactly. How you say your name? Devontae. Okay, Devontae Jones. Shout out to you, brother. God is in you, not in the sky, an invisible man in the sky. Exactly. Shout out to you, brother. Yeah, the natural state. Anytime they say you don't supposed to question God, I run. Shout out to your natural state. But yeah, so it's like who are you really questioning though? When you question God and you hear this thing, look, I'm gonna put it like this. When I was a believer in God, I used to sit on the toilet, man. I'd be like, "Oh Father, can you guide me?" And then I hear this voice in my head be like, "Yes, my son. Yes, my son." And I'm up here asking God all these questions when I was really asking myself these questions. And I was talking to some chick, and she said, "Well, just pray about it and ask God to guide your footsteps and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." I'm at the storefront. This real religious lady always coming to the storefront, want to talk about God and stuff, but she got an aunt though. But she talking about she believes in Jesus Christ, which confuses me. But but yeah, it's just like when people say they praying, who you praying to? I mean, you're really praying to yourself, and you're hearing this voice in your head saying, my child, this, my child. That's because you have been engraved. It's been engraved in your mind to listen to God, but you're actually listening to yourself. That's why they say, I got a gut feeling that this ain't right, or I got a gut feeling that this is right. But those are all chemicals in your head, like dopamine and cortisol, because dopamine basically puts you in a euphoria where you can actually feel things. That's why things feel so real to you. That's why God feels real to you. You know what I'm saying? That's why you think that you're catching the Holy Spirit when you're in church running around looking like a idiot, sprinting through the church and stuff like y'all in the track meet. You know what I'm saying? Passing the baton and stuff. And then when they playing the soft music, you know what I'm saying? The pastor. This is what Jeremiah Kamar calls storm chasing. Storm chasing is when the pastor basically tries to praise on your emotion. You're in the background and all this other shit. They got the R&B music playing in the background, and the pastor's talking about, I know some of you out there, they out there and you going through a lot in your life. Your bills ain't getting paid. You just lost your car. You just lost your job. But I tell you one day, God is going to wake us up. And then the music starts getting loud. And then Lord Jesus. Oh, just thank you, Lord. He just basically storm chase you. He don't know nothing about you. But he's going to basically add things in your life to make you feel like you're actually going through when you might not be going through it at all. You might know somebody that's going through it. You know what I'm saying? So Christians it's the same shit. You go get a fix. It's like a crackhead. You on Friday and Saturday, you're at the club and you dancing, you feeling the same way. Because you can listen to your favorite church song in church and have the same euphoric feeling as like you listen to, Lil Bootsy. So you're in Lil Bootsy, you're up here hitting your hand and stuff in the club and stuff like that. Then when you hear God's Grace by Trinity 5-7, you're doing the same thing. So what's the difference between listening to your favorite club song and then your church song? What is the difference? It's the same feeling. What do y'all not get about that? And then some of the women, they come in there showing up late with the glasses on and shit because they don't drink too much, probably done sucked a few penises and shit. Now they end up asking God for forgiveness. I'm just saying, bro. It boggles my mind. So this is what I don't get. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue I'm having with belief and knowledge. So they believe, that all they got to do is come to God to rationalize their behavior, and they don't take any accountability for their behavior. That's why they say, well, if you kill somebody, then all you got to do is accept Jesus Christ before your deathbed and you're forgiven and you're going to go to heaven. That's their belief. That's what they believe. Yeah, but do they know that?
That shit about Christians too, man. Like they sit there and talk about morality all the time. And Christianity has no morality because you can do whatever you want to do as long as you ask for forgiveness. That's not justice. That's mercy. Justice is when you do something fucked up, you pay for what you fucking did. You don't just be like, oh, I know I'm gonna do this fucked up shit, but then when I'm done, I'm gonna ask for forgiveness. So under that law, Ted Bundy is going to heaven, and me and you going to hell, even though we don't kill people and chop them up and eat them. You know what I'm saying? We just out here using our brains. But this motherfucker's a serial killer who eat his victims, but he asked for forgiveness, so he goes to heaven. That's what you Christians actually believe in. So where's your morality? There is no morality under that system. And if it was true, I would go to hell because I ain't finna worship no motherfucking murdering, raping ass, evil ass motherfucker that let serial killers go to heaven while good people go to hell. That's stupid as fuck.
Exactly. I'm gonna go back to the comments. Who got Till X? A guy at work told me that he had an out-of-body experience and he floated, and I don't believe it. Well, that's the the near-death experience. Yeah, I don't believe that either. Sometimes you can feel high. That's basically your body losing oxygen, so you're gonna kind of feel high. Or even when a panic attack happens, you feel high. You feel like you're about to jump out your body, but you're not jumping out your body. That's just your body. You're in a state of getting ready to pass out for lack of oxygen. Shout out to TX. Shout out to TX.
I think that near-death experience shit. What I think it is really, I think that's because you know your brain lies to you all the time. You know, like you ever seen like one of them books with optical illusions in it, where they had like two squares and one of them's behind in a shadow, and they look like they different colors, but they actually not. And the reason why they look different colors because your brain assumes that they should be different colors because one of them is in the shade, or where it thinks the shade should be. So your brain will lie to you and do stuff like that. So I think these near-death experiences, like your brain, okay, you almost died. So your brain is dying, is deprived of oxygen, it's never been in that situation before, and void of senses, just like when you're dreaming, your brain's trying to figure out what's going on. So if you're not having any sensory information and you bumped your head or whatever's going on, after the fact, your brain tries to explain that situation, what just happened, and your brain don't know what happened. So it comes up with the best explanation it can and feeds it to you as what happened. So you saying, oh man, I floated out of my body and I did this, and when really you just got hit upside the head and you was knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So
and the same thing I feel because I used to.
Go ahead. Right.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but same thing happened to me when I was playing football. Like I used to play arena football down in Houston, and I remember tackling the receiver over the over the wall. Now this is when I was a believer, so when I hit that guy, I mean I landed wrong. Like we both landed wrong, and it's like I saw nothing but light, and I felt like I was floating. I woke up in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And there was nothing but darkness. So that would really kind of made me question my belief because I'm like, if I damn near broke my neck. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was down. I felt like I was floating because when I hit the guy, we hit the chairs. Me and him both landed in people's laps. So that's how hard I hit the guy over the wall. And I felt like all I remember is everything going in slow motion, seeing a white light, but I didn't see no Jesus or anything. I just saw a white light, and it was total darkness. But it did feel like I was about to float out my body, though. It felt like that, but it was just oxygen deprivation. You know what I'm saying? So when you're being knocked out, that's what you're going to feel because now it's like your body. What happens is with the brain, if you're passing out, your brain shuts your body down. It protects you to reset itself. If it's basically, if you're not going through any super trauma or anything critical that happened to you, you know what I'm saying? So when I was a Christian, I believed that God was going to wake me up in heaven, but I ended up waking up in the hospital. So that's, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're dealing with. And we have, because you got to look at it like this. How do you know that you're a Christian when you die, that you're not going to see Allah, that you're not going to see Asar, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to see Dionysus. You're not going to see any other deity. So what if you got to go to their hell? You know what I'm saying? So if any near-death experience is true, then that means all gods are true, right? That would mean all gods are true. So that means if say for instance, you believe in Yahweh, you're going to go to the heaven of Yahweh, but you're going to be in hell somewhere else. See what I'm saying? Y'all get the concept. So if Yahweh is real, say for instance, all the gods are real. All 300,000 gods are real. So that means one side of you will be in heaven and one side of you will be in hell. So you believe in Yahweh, so you're in Yahweh heaven, so you're going to Osiris's hell, or you're going to Dionysus' hell. You believe in Allah, so you're going to go to Yahweh's hell. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be back and forth. So I wouldn't want to live that afterlife. You know what I'm saying? If all gods were real.
Is a fucked up heaven because they say they're going to give you 72 virgins, but they don't tell you if the virgin's going to be male or female. Uh-oh.
literally, bro. Yeah.
And also,
you might like
this documentary called Marjo. I think it's on YouTube, man. I probably get a couple clips on the episode one day, but it's about this preacher. He was a kid preacher, and his parents raised him to be a preacher at like age of 8 or some shit, and so he learned the church hustle at a young age, and he realized this shit is a fucking hustle. So he left the church because he didn't like it, and then he got, he needed some money. He said, well shit, I can go back and preach. I know how to do that. He started preaching, and he made a movie about it. He was showing people how this is just a scam and how you can just play this song, play that song, and then send out the collection plate, and they start getting money. And they got to the point where they was getting so much money they didn't even take
realize
the checks and stuff. They would just throw them away, and they just wanted the cash and shit. Go on to the next town and do a sermon at somebody's church, because all you gotta do is show up and be like, yo, I'm a preacher, I want to do a guest sermon, and they'll let you come in there and preach. So they just go from town to town, basically like a traveling road band, getting money out of folk, and then you know what I'm saying, go to the hotel room having cocaine parties and shit. It's called Marjo, Mrajo. Check that shit out.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I hope y'all got that. I'm definitely gonna check that out because it goes back to this. What's that guy? Bob Larson, thinking that he's exorcising demon. Now, I want y'all to check out a video. It's called "Gay Demons" by Bob Larson, and you can tell that it's an act. But these people are so dumb that they're actually believing that this man was possessed by somebody, a gay demon. And Bob Larson tried to exorcise this gay demon out of this man. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, it's gullibility. It's very.
It's a similar scam they be doing in Africa, man. It's a preacher and it's like, I guess his girlfriend, this woman, I don't know what's up with her arm, but she know how to make her arm like, she got some type of disease where her bone is like bendable. So she'll show up looking like she got a disease and she crippled, and he'll start praying and then her arm will start straightening out. And the first time I saw it, I was like, now that seemed real. But then I got to do my research. So I did a little bit of research. One quick Google search let me find out, okay, this is a scam, and they do this shit all over the place. And this girl, she just had this rare condition with her arm. So I've yet to find a real miracle. Every time I looked into any of these things, it's always been some type of magic trick or some type of scam. But the sad part about it is they be doing this shit in Africa, you know what I'm saying, in the motherland, and these people that like the gay demon video, they really believe this shit, and like these people are in tears, like, oh my God, he's healing her arm and all this shit, and it's just one big scam. And then all this the weave that these American black women be wearing, y'all don't know, all that fake hair y'all be wearing they scam that away from these Indian Hindu women who think that they're doing some religious ceremony. They cut off their hair and they shave their whole head because they think it's some type of ritual to get them closer to their Hindu god. And they don't tell them that they selling that hair in America for millions of dollars, and they don't give them no percentage of it. So you are receiving stolen property if you buying those Indian Remy or whatever the fuck y'all hoes be buying. All that shit is stolen property, and that they done scammed from these women, made them cut their hair off. So you might want to think about that and wear your real hair, bitch. But anyway, I digress.
All right, so we got a caller, 513. You're on the air. Make sure you unmute your mic. What do you believe and why?
How you doing, guys? I'm a Muslim.
Okay,
why?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Why? Ultimate truth.
Okay, that's Ultimate. What's going on, Ultimate?
I'm good. How are you, guys? Call me and Kweli.
Peace. We're good, brother. Welcome to the New Atheist Experience.
What you got for us today?
Nothing special. I just heard you talking about justice and repentance and whatever. I just cut you about 15, 20 minutes ago. You were talking about Ted Bundy and because somebody just do whatever they want to do in life and they just repent and then got forgiven. It does not work like that. It doesn't work like that in Christianity. The bad thing is, the sad part about everything you're saying, you're not basing it on the Bible you're reading. You're basing it on what Christians are saying. Or you're basing it on what Muslims are saying and not what the Quran is saying. That's the bad thing about it. Apparently, you want to go by the hearsay instead of going by the book. What the Christians do and what the Bible says is different. What the Muslims do and what the Quran says is different. You going by what they say or what they do. Does not matter what they say or what they do. What matters is what's in the book, what's in the Torah, what's in the Injil, or what's in the Bible, and what's in the Quran.
So are you saying that the Bible don't say that you can ask for forgiveness and it all be forgiven? The Bible don't say that?
It does say that, but it puts conditions. You said like Ted Bundy. He said you can do anything you want, and they say, okay, I'm asking for forgiveness, and the next day I go do it. No, it doesn't say that. You are painting. You are making it look bad. You can make a mistake.
Clean it up. What did it say? How do we get it wrong?
You cannot make a million mistakes knowingly, expecting. Let's talk about Ted Bundy. I told you last time, God said you got to the age of 40. After 40, if you die as an unbeliever, you're going to hell. Ted did whatever he did, years to kill, did about 30 months, whatever. He was born when? He was executed in 89, right? He was born in 42. He was judged in 81. He was 39 years old. He was supposed to be executed at the years of 30, 38 or 39. He never had a chance to be executed. He had to prolong his life to go over 40. He was executed, he was 42. And he was supposed to be executed 4 years early. But he went and asked the governor, asked this and asked that, procedure after procedure after procedure after procedure, to extend it for 4 years. Finally, he had to cross this line of 40 years old to die. He's in hell right now. Guaranteed.
How do you know that?
Guaranteed.
How do you know that?
God said anybody died after 40 had to be a believer. And whatever he did, why do you think Martin Luther King died at the age of 39? Why 2 months before his birthday he got killed? Why Malcolm X died at the age of 39? Why?
You said God said. Where did God say that at? Did he tell you personally?
I tried to. Last time he said, no, you don't want to hear it. That's it. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that, but I'm just saying. But you're still making this claim that God said that. Where can you get God to say that? Say that again for us to all hear.
All right, let me get you the verse. Go ahead and read.
See, this is why we don't deal with the Bible and the Quran, ultimate truth, because even if we was to read the Bible and the Quran, there's no way we can know for sure if that's actually the word of God. And upon scrutiny, is looking less and less likely that it's a word of anything supernatural, and more likely that it's just the word of common ancient goat herding motherfuckers that wanted to take somebody else's land. So can you prove that God actually said that? What Kwame is saying is that, yeah, okay, the Bible said it, but how you know that God said it? How you know that motherfucker just didn't put that in the Bible and say God said it? Because it really don't make no sense.
And another thing, ultimate truth, it's like a chain letter. It's like a chain letter, ultimate truth. You're reading the chain letter. That's basically what you're reading. Hold on, brother. I'm gonna let you talk. Now, you're reading a chain letter. You're reading a letter that came from maybe the first century CE. Okay? Do you know who wrote the Quran? Do you know who authored the Quran in the first century?
Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead. I was quiet. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You see, I told you it does not matter who wrote the Quran. What matters is the Quran proves itself. Mathematically, you don't want to hear that either. It doesn't matter.
You know what? It does matter. It does matter who wrote the Quran. And I'm gonna tell you why it matters. I'm gonna tell you why it matters.
Bro, give me respect, man. Let me speak.
No, you can't come on our show and say it does not matter. We need answers, brother. We need answers.
Then. If you think you're not to cut me off, but I can cut you off. What is it?
No, hold on, listen. No, you're on our show, okay? So you're gonna show some respect, okay?
Oh,
but listen,
no,
you say no. Hold on.
Letting me speak.
No. When you say for clarity, for our clarity, you say it doesn't matter. No, we need to know who wrote the Quran in the first century. By you saying hold on, no. By you're saying that you don't know or it doesn't matter, leads us to believe that it's some put together shit by an anonymous author.
Okay, then I told you that. I told you. I can prove to you that this book is from God. That's all that matters. Who wrote the book? It does not matter. If Einstein wrote a book, or Darwin wrote the book, or whoever wrote the book, what matters is what's in the book. Use your brain, bro. Who made the money?
Bro,
who made the dollar?
A book,
I can use the
bro.
dollar.
If you count, bro. Okay, so I can prove. So it don't matter. Dr. Seuss book probably have 1,000 A's in it and 1,000 C's in it and something, it might have like certain words in it. Does that prove that the cat and hat is real? Just because you counted letters and verses and phrases and stuff, that's all. Whoever did that confused the fuck out of you, dude. Just because you counting shit in the Bible, or the Quran, does not prove that the Quran is real. That's absurd. That's an absurd.
You live in a house. You don't know who built the house. You live in some down.
Yes, I do. Actually, I do know who built the house. I do know who built my apartment. I do know that.
Point? Oh, so you think everybody knows?
I don't know. Can you? I don't know. Can you make a point? Can you make a valid point?
I'm trying to, but you won't let me speak because you're afraid of the truth. You give me an exception because you know that 99.9% of people do not know who built their house, and you're telling me I know who built my house. You see, you go by the exception to make it a rule, and you know that if you come to 1 million people, maybe one knows who built their house.
Ultimately, can I interject 1 second? The reason why we know that somebody built our house is not the fact that we know who built our house, but we know somebody built our house because all of the houses that we've ever seen have come about by somebody building it, and we don't have any examples, not one example of a house coming about by no one building it. So when you talk about the books, they had the same rules. All the books we know have come from authors, humans specifically, not rats, not cats, not dogs, but people write books, not gods. All right. So if you're talking about, you got this one instance, this one extraordinary case where this one book was written by something other than a person. What is your evidence for that? And if all you got is to say, well, this book got this many verses and this book got this many words, that's weak evidence. You're making a very extraordinary claim and you have very weak evidence, which is why we don't accept it.
Yes, I don't cut you off, right? If I could just have what you got, if you just give me respect the way I give you respect, and not to cut me off and make my point and answer, please. For one time, I'm asking the world is listening to you. 37 people listening to you. Be human, please. Now, you just said that we can prove that every house is built by a human being. The books written by human beings. So we never heard of any God. You never seen, have no proof of any God writing books. Right. If you gotta watch, this is made by a human being because it's made, it's not that this didn't fall off the, of the sky. Now, if I can show you the same way you can show to me that this watch is made and not just whatever, if I can prove it to you in this book that you cannot prove to me through the other things, through the other book, you should be agreeing that this book gotta be coming from God. That's all I try to do, and you refuse me that.
Okay.
You refuse me. You give that guy an hour and 30 minutes to develop.
Are you done?
For some crap, a guy who cannot even read one sentence in English, this Gambian guy, insulting Senegal, insulting, if it wasn't for Senegal, they would have been right now under Yaya Jammeh. With the army of Senegal went and took and put them in democracy, put them some real election, and had them a real president.
Check this out, Ultimate Truth. Don't check this out. If you got a watch, right? The reason why you know the watch is made is not because it's complex. I know that's the argument that you're making, but that's not the reason why you know the watch is made. The reason why you know the watch is made is because every watch you've ever seen has been made. If we just was born or we got thrust onto an alien planet and there was watch-like things around, we wouldn't know if those things were made by creatures on those planets or if they were natural. We would have to find the evidence of how they came about. We have evidence of how watches come about, which is why we don't believe that watches are coming about in supernatural ways. So if you have an example of a book or anything that's come about from some supernatural entity, please enlighten me. So you saying that you can look at the Quran and based off the structure of the Quran, you determine that it's not made by a human. That's not the way we determine how things are made. We determine that based on examples of prior things that we have. So all the examples that we have of books come from humans. That's why we believe that books come from humans, not because of what the books consist of.
Okay. Now, I'm going to give you some examples. He said the reason why we know a watch is made is not because of the complexity, it's because the fact that watches are being made by humans, right? Now I'm telling you just spoke for 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever. Do you know how many letters and words that you uttered out of your mouth? Do you have an idea how many A's and B's and P's you said?
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't. You know you don't. You're a liar if you say that. You do not know how many words you... No, you don't. Don't be lying here. You do not know how many words...
And you don't either. And you don't either. So how can you tell me I don't know?
Okay. Now, how can somebody speak for 23 years and tell you exactly and show you that every word he made out of his mouth, every letter, every word is a multiple of 19. How?
Repeat
How?
that.
Because they did TD, they basically they looked at it and they counted. That's what they did, but that's weak evidence, bro.
They
That
can
is
count
weak evidence,
the,
and you know
the
it's weak
letters in
evidence.
the book 1400 years ago.
I can do the same
Are you
fucking
serious?
thing. I can do the same fucking thing, dude.
You can't. As of today,
I can
you
do that
can't
shit.
say
I can do that shit.
No, you are
I bet
here.
I can, bro. I bet I can. You want to bet? You want to bet? How much you want to bet? I can do the same thing with the Bible. Count how many A's and B's and all this other shit. But it'd be a little tedious for me to do so. But that does not prove that that does not prove the Bible is true. You're going by numbers that was basically orchestrated by humans.
It's not just counting. It's not just counting. It's not counting how many words you utter. It's knowing that they're all going to be multiple. You write a book, and you say, okay, I use so many A's, so many B's, so many C's, and they're all multiple of 19. A to Z. You use some letters in the book the way that every single letter, every single word, every single name is a multiple of 19. Are you serious? 19.
No, are you serious? Because that's not evidence. That's not evidence that it was orchestrated by God. That's not evidence, dude.
Ultimate truth, man. Have you ever heard?
That is not evidence.
You ever heard this rapper called Lil Wayne? Man, this nigga, he got this song, right? It's called Open Safe. And it's got to be written by God because every word in this song rhymes with open safe. Every word, bro. Every word in the song rhymes with open safe. And it's like 316 bars, 3 hooks, a bridge. And this nigga ain't take a breath the whole song. He just spitting. Nigga looking like an open safe. Open safe. Nigga, hope you safe. Nigga, that nigga was going in. And you telling me that was written by a man and every word rhymes? That's how you sound, Ultimate Truth.
About Ryan. Listen to me. Listen, yes, you kept meeting me again. And while I'm not cutting you off, but you still going to meet me. Go ahead. The word that this would know. This is about Dr. Rhyming. You see? There you go. This is about rhyming. This is not telling you how to fix a problem. This is telling you how to debate. This is telling you how to get married, how to share the wealth. This is telling you if you leave kids and die, how they're gonna share the thing. This is telling the Lord if you kill somebody, what will happen to you. This is how to pray, how to worship God. This is talking about history. This is not a little way into it.
When you was 5 years old, did you know about Allah?
Yes,
was you a Christian or a Muslim when you was 5? I got a question. Was you a Christian or a Muslim? When did you become a Muslim or whatever you believe in? When did you know about God? Who told you?
What do I know about God? The book is
I said when.
About God.
What book?
I was born a Muslim.
You was born So if you was in America, would you be a Christian or a Muslim?
This nigga said he was born a Muslim.
After I read the book, the Islam I've been taught is not the Islam in the book. 13 years, 11 years
somebody taught you about it.
Hold on. Can I speak? Just my question. Let me answer. The Islam I've been taught when I was a kid is not the Islam in the book. The Islam I've been taught when I was a kid was the bad Islam, was the Arab culture. Arab culture is not what's in the book. What's in the book is not Arab culture. I've been taught something wrong. I've been taught that people are allowed to kill other people if they don't believe in Islam. I've been taught that if a woman fornicates, that she had to be stoned to death. I've been told that if somebody leaves Islam, he had to be killed. It's not in the book. The book says anybody free to go, anybody free to answer. The book says if somebody fornicate, if a woman fornicate or if a man fornicate, they to be hit with 100 lashes. I've been taught that a million things. I've been taught to worship Muhammad as God, just like the Christian worship Jesus as God. But now I know that no, I should be worshiping only Allah. I've been taught that they put the name of Muhammad next to the name of Allah. That's what all of that I learned from the book. I was a kid. I didn't go for the Quran, especially. I went for modern schooling. I did some studies in law. But when I grew up, I started reading the Quran. I paid attention to what was in the Quran. I was asking questions. Nobody had my answer. I said, but God is not saying that. God is not saying that. Why are you doing this? And nobody had the answer. Now they didn't bring hadith. They said the teaching of Muhammad that Allah brought 300 years after the death of Muhammad, somebody called Bukhari, 300 years later, and wrote us how Muhammad used to live. Why Muhammad left the book. They don't want to go by the book. They're going by the teaching, so-called teaching of Muhammad, called Hadith. And the Hadith is in the book. It is said that people will bring you some Hadith to divert you from the path of Allah, to God. It's in the book. What other Hadith other than this book are you going to believe in? Christians, there's no religion called Christianity. There's no religion called Judaism. There's one religion, that's Islam. People are mixing things. Jesus was a Muslim. Abraham, a Muslim is what? Is somebody who submits totally to God. That's it. It's an Arab word. In English, it would be a submitter. In French, it would be a soumis. In Spanish, it would be a submittal.
So basically, your ideology is not based off of evidence or anything. It's just based off of what you read in the book.
And the book is from God. Cannot be human made.
I know that's what you believe, but I'm asking you a question. I'm asking everything that you believe is come from that book. It's not coming from reality. It's coming from that book, right?
It's come from reality.
Well, that's not what you just said.
How does it?
What do you mean?
You just
in the
said,
book of reality?
You said that you were taught Quran,
reality?
and then you read the Quran, and now you know the truth because you read the Quran. So I'm asking you, your ideology is based off of this book 100%, right?
The ultimate truth. Where's the body of Muhammad?
Verified. What?
Where's the body of Muhammad? Where's Muhammad at right now?
I don't care. Wait, they said that he's in he was buried in Medina. I don't know. I don't care. That's what matters to me. About the body of Jesus, body of Abraham. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is what I'm supposed to be doing to be saved. Muhammad has done his job. Jesus did his job. Abraham did his job.
What are you being saved from, people. Ultimate truth? Saved from what?
What?
Saved from what?
Saved from going to hell.
Who convinced you that you were going to hell?
So this is why you believe. So you're believing out of fear of hell. That's what I was talking about. This is why. Yes, you're only a believer because that's just like an abused wife. That's just like an abused wife. Now we let you talk for so long. So basically you're an abused wife that's afraid of this sky daddy that if you don't believe him or trust in him, he's going to beat the fuck out of you. So you're only pretending to believe in order to get a reward. Same thing with Santa Claus. Kids be good all year in order to get a reward.
Or avoid punishment.
That's why you believe.
Can I answer?
Can you?
It's a fear-based system. You're believing out of fear. You're not believing because it's true. You're believing because you're scared of it. You're afraid of it. Because you said, I'm afraid of going to hell. You just said it. You just said, I'm afraid of going to hell. That's why you believe.
You said it to me 1 million times. Why are you repeating yourself? Can I answer now?
Go ahead.
Go. Good. So you here on YouTube insulting people because they promise you $1,000 or whatever. You here. Sometimes I ask the guy a question. I said, if you answer the question, I give you $500 right now. He said, man, I need to pay $100, man. Please answer the question, man. I need to pay $100. I said, I'm talking to you, Kwame. The guy came here, he asked him a question. If you answer, I give you $500 right now. You were begging him to answer because you need the $1,500. Right? Why? Why are you worried about money? So you want to live a nice life in this world? And you don't want me to live a nice life for eternity? You see how dumb it is?
You see how dumb you sound. You think that you're going to live a life after this one. How do you know you got a second life after this one? Where is your proof of that?
That's the difference between me and you. If I got a book that I know is not human made, and it's telling me everything in it, it's going to be a life after this, and you said you don't know, I know. I asked you the question last time, you said you don't know.
No, you don't know because we're asking you to cam up and show us this other afterlife. There's a camera button, so can you call God or Muhammad or whoever you believe in, open the camera up and call him down and show his face and show us that we got another afterlife, like show us a portal or something to this afterlife. Because it's mighty funny that religion takes you. Yeah, it's mighty funny that religion says that if you be good, then you're going to get a reward after this one. So they don't tell you how you're going to get to heaven. They don't tell you how you're going to, how you gonna get out your body, how you gonna do this, how you gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So basically you're just believing off of impulse and fear.
It's like you telling me that if you got a kid, he's born, you will take him to school, he goes to school, he went to college, it's like you feel that he's not going to be living in the street. No, because you want to give a good education to you. You are guaranteed that he's going to be having a good job. You just guarantee that he's going to be educated. That's already. You're not fearing for your kid to be in the street. That's the reason why you take him to school. You are taking him to school. In here, it's mandatory. You got to do it. In Africa, it's not. People taking their kids. If you want to take your kids to school, you can. If you don't want to, you can't. It's up to you. Everybody taking their kids to school because they want their kids to get a good education. That's it. Now, it's not the feeling to be homeless, feeling to have no help. No. I am worshiping God because I know I should be worshiping Him no matter what. He gave me life. He gave me whatever I got. That's what Him. He is here letting you in.
So your parents had nothing. So your parents had nothing to do with you giving you life. They had nothing to do with that. So your mom and dad had nothing to do with you giving life. So you just came about because of God. So your parents had nothing to do with that, right? Is that what you're saying?
I'm talking about the schooling. I'm talking about this life. I'm talking about this life here. If you take your kids to school, it's not because you're feeling that they're going to be living in the street. No. You just want them to have a good education, right?
Just said, ultimately, we going based off what you said. You said the reason why you believe is because you don't want to go to hell. So what we're trying to get you to do is understand how religion works. What religion's job is
I said they
convince
did.
you.
No,
hold on,
I
brother.
never said that.
Hold on, brother. We let you talk. We're gonna give you a chance to clear it up in just a second. But what religion's job is to convince you that you need the religion, and without the religion, you are doomed. Now they got you. So when you take on all these other belief systems, you also adopt the behavior that comes along with it. So now you're gonna be doing all types of fuck shit, like turning the other cheek, not having sex before you get married, which creates a small family, so the people who are in control can have big families while you sitting here having 1 or 2 kids and shit, and you turning the other cheek. So every time they do something to you, you just be like, oh, we'll do it again, and you all on this, I'm not gonna do nothing. You see how the anti-violence worked wonders for black people. So that's what Christianity and Islam produces: a slave mentality and a docile, non-fighting back mentality. And I need to be saved, even though there's nothing to be saved from. It's like somebody convincing you, and like Kwame said, Santa Claus. The whole reason Santa Claus is still prevalent is because parents lie to their children so that they can behave for a couple months out the year. I have parents tell me, oh, don't come around my kid with all that Santa Claus ain't real stuff, with all that Santa Claus. Like, they really passionate about that stuff because they want their kids to be good for 2 months out the year, and they kids worse than the kids that I know that ain't no Santa Claus around me. So you know what I'm saying, you bring your kids around me, I'm gonna tell them the truth, and they behave very well. So you are in a childlike mentality with your religion, and I'm not trying to insult you, I'm just telling you the way it seems to me. So I'm gonna unmute you. Don't complain about being muted. Just go in and respond to what I said.
You can freaking fucking tell me that not to complain about we being made. That's ridiculous. This one, it is that your people have been so enslaved that you're still enslaved. You never get out of it. I came here because I went to the U.S. Embassy. I paid $300 some dollars They got me a visa, took a plane and came here. I didn't come here in a freaking boat. My parents did not come away in a boat. So since your parents came here in a boat, that you still have that mentality of now trying to enslave other people, telling them what to do and what not to do. That they can complain that now you are accusing me of being enslaved by others, and you want to enslave me here in your channel, telling me what not to say. Now you want to be my master. Yes, master. Yes, sir. That's what I mean to say. You're in that freaking habit. I will tell you fucking that you cannot be muting me. I don't even cut you up. You're not cutting me up. I'm listening, and you're muting me still.
You want to talk about the information, or you want to talk about the show and the fact that we mute
you? Now, I mean, I will speak that took you. Now you used to be enslaved. Now you want to enslave somebody. You're going to enslave me. I'm a free man. You know what I mean? You cannot tell me what to say and what not to say. I'm spitting the truth. You say the truth. I said, you got this guy. Forget about this guy because he's ignorant. I got a 7 years credit. So don't compare me to this guy. I speak 7 or 8 different languages. Don't compare me to a guy who don't even know that Alex Ali wrote who. Don't compare me to him. Talk about Toby, his name, because he watched a movie.
Ultimate Truth.
Based on the book written by Alex Ali, you couldn't even tell him that, hey man.
Are you going to deal with the information or are you going to complain?
I'm telling you that it wasn't information. I'm not complaining.
All right,
I want to answer the question.
I asked you a question. I said, are you one of those Jesse Lee Peterson Oreo people that don't know you black and you really want to be white, or are you so lost in this religion that you need some help? Which one is it?
None of that. I'm a man who discovered the truth. Can I answer the question?
If it's true, then you should be able to demonstrate it.
Oh my God. So I can't even
demonstrate the truth, please. Please demonstrate the truth. Because we want to know. We want to know if Islam is true.
Demonstrate this.
You're for telling us about it, but you ain't. Yeah.
You won't let me though. You said it's bullshit that somebody wrote a book and knew exactly. You were not going to tell me 1 order. Who knows how many words in this book? 1 order. You're going to name me all them billions of books. Tell me just one who knows how many words in this book.
That's not impressive to us, Ultimate Truth. We don't care how many words or who knows how many words. We can find out how many words are in any book. We just don't want to do it. We don't want to sit there and count words, bro.
I'm telling you, if somebody write a book and telling you 1,400 years ago that he knows how many letters, how many words, that everything is counted, that's the verse, that I counted everything to make sure that the messengers have delivered. That's the verse. I have counted everything.
So are you saying that this book came from God? So God wrote the book in heaven or wherever this place is?
God uttered the book. The book came to us. God said how to write the book. The book was written the way it was supposed to be written, and everything is counted. If I speak English, right now when he's speaking, if somebody in the courthouse, you go there, you speak. But the writer will write everything that you spoke. That was what he said. Somebody wrote exactly what he said. Somebody wrote exactly what God said, and you get the book. God didn't make the book rain. No, it's a word that came from the angel to a man who wrote them under control. He said, "We the one that dictating you. We the one that gonna put it together."
Do you know how many angels came to people and said that this is the book and you need to write that? Joseph Smith. We dealing with Yum Bivens in 1960 when he said he saw a man, an angel with a perfect afro, told him that they the true Israelites. You know what I'm saying? All these messenger stories are not original, bro. And Islam is the last on the totem pole. It's not original. And nobody can prove that an angel came to a man. How do you know that? How do you know whoever the angel is actually came to this man? And how do you know that whoever wrote the book is telling the truth? So that means you'll believe anything. Like Malcolm X said, which was a Muslim, Malcolm X said, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You're falling for this book.
You know what it sounds like? Let's say you built a car. You built a Rolls Royce, or you built the most beautiful car, a Bugatti or something, and then you put some goat and some dogs in it. And the goat and the dog are discussing can a dog or a goat make this stuff? That's what he's saying. You see, that's exactly what he's saying. You know that a human being has to be made. Okay? It's how it is. What the Bugatti is to the goat and the dog, who is what this book is to me. This book is showing me that it cannot be human made. I know. I am a learned man. I'm not like you ask me some questions about life, about science, about I will answer. Not the other guy. You give me a case right now of law in the United States, I will answer. So you got the so let me stop you right there. I want to pause for a minute. So you're saying this book is not human made. So where did the ink and the paper come from? If it's not human made, because last time I checked, humans made paper and they made ink and they made hardback. So if it's not human made, then it does matter, bro. Okay. It matters a lot because you're basically trying to throw away the obvious components of creating the book. You're trying to throw that all out. That's what you're doing, and you're basically making yourself look like a jackass. Can I answer? You're talking about the paper. It doesn't matter if it's written in some goat scheme or from anything. What matters is the words in the book. I never said the paper is good, or the paper is green, or it's white, or it's yellow. No, I'm talking about the words in the paper. I'm not the word uttered 1,400 years ago. Don't look at the book as a thing. You can write it down in a piece of paper. You can write it down on the walls. You can write it down anywhere you want. It does not matter. What matters are what's in it. That's not the paper. You are focusing in something irrelevant. A paper. It wasn't written on a paper like this 1,400 years ago. It's amazing how word by word it's maintained to be mathematically able to be verified that nothing is missing. Like the example I gave you about this boat. I gave you something, guard it for me, and I'm asking you to know what it is. I'm asking you, is everything in it?
You're referencing man-made objects again. You cannot reference a Rolls Royce is not magically made. Okay, God didn't make Rolls Royces or Benzes or whatever you're talking about. Okay, so you're talking about things that are made by man. That is a false equivalency. That's what you're saying. That's a false equivalency.
It's not. You know well that a goat cannot make a Rolls Royce. You know that. You know that.
And I also know that books are not magically made either.
Yeah, the same rule that you're saying for Rolls Royce goes for your books. If I tell you what's in this book,
if you would accept it, if you would give me the time that you gave to the other guy, I would prove to you that this book can be human made. But you won't let me say that because you're afraid of the truth, bro.
No, I'm not afraid of the truth, bro. You sound retarded. Okay. Right now, open up your Quran right now and let me and read the table of contents to us. I want to know where it was printed at, where it was pressed at, and what company made that book. If you can cam up right now, and show us that book has no table of contents, no printer, no company that made it. Because I think Zoldervan or Gideon probably do the Quran. Don't think like. So you're not going to tell me when you open up the Quran, it's not going to have a blank page.
Bro, have you been at school at all? Seriously, I'm doubting now.
Do I have what?
I'm not talking about the paper. I'm talking about the words in the book. I didn't tell you these.
Who wrote the words?
I didn't say that.
Who wrote the words?
I'm talking about the words.
Who wrote the words?
How many chapters?
Who wrote them?
How many chapters?
Who wrote the words?
What if I tell you now nobody wrote it in my head? Now why did it recite it from my head? Who wrote it in my head? So you're the only one. So you're the only one with this magic Quran. Nobody else got the right Quran but you. Is that what you're saying? Everybody got the right Quran. What do you mean?
How come everybody don't believe it?
What do you mean?
All right, let me ask you this, Ultimate Truth. If you were God, hold on, bro.
Tell me,
if you were God,
you mean to tell me that if we have a conversation, hold on, let me finish. If you have a conversation and somebody put it in writing, that is not our conversation. Right now, this year.
Yeah,
if somebody put it in writing, put it in the book.
Yeah, the key word is somebody though. Let me ask you this: if you listen, Ultimate Truth, if you were God Do you think personally and honestly, do you think it's a good idea if you want to save people from going to hell? Do you think it's a good idea to leave your message in a book, or do you think you would just come down and deliver your message to everybody at the same time? Or you're God, really, so you could just make everybody be born with your message. What would you do? Would you leave your message in a book if you were God?
I will do everything I think is good for people. People reading books. Everybody reading books. You're here quoting books. You're here talking history. You just talked about Ted Bundy because it was written somewhere, because the TV talked about it, because people wrote books about it.
But if you were
And how old
God,
you are?
would you write a
knowing
book?
about
That's what I'm asking you.
you. Hold on. What you believe in, and you know what you believe in. You believe in books. You read books from Einstein. You read books from Darwin, and you believe in whatever.
You can't tell me what I believe in.
But
I don't
wrote my
believe
book,
in shit.
but
dog.
if I write a book, everybody knows 1 + 1 is 2. But if I wrote a book and coded it the way that nobody can, you won't believe in the book. You're a hypocrite. You even don't want to hear it.
All right, let me ask you one more time, because I think you have a problem answering questions. If you were God, would you write a book to leave your message, or would you come up with a better way?
I said one more time, I am not God. I don't think the way God thinks. But I know God is doing
God.
Exactly. Can I finish? Bro, I would never be God. Don't ask me.
No, you can't finish, because you can't answer a fucking simple question, dog. It's a simple question. I said, if you were, it's a hypothetical, nigga. I know you ain't God. That's why I said if. Don't give me no dumbass answer talking about some, I'm not God, I will never be God. Duh, you ain't never gonna be no fucking imaginary shit, nigga. You ain't never gonna be the Tooth Fairy. You ain't never gonna be the Peter Pan. You ain't never gonna be God, dumb motherfucker. I asked you a simple question. If you were God, would you write a book? So your dumb ass can't answer a simple question. You can get the fuck off my line, nigga. Got time for that shit. 682, you on the line. What's up?
What's up, man? What's going on?
No, what's your name, bro?
Yeah, my name Ray, man.
Ray, where you calling from?
Peace, brother.
Calling from Arlington, Texas.
Oh shit, I'm right next door. I'm in Fort Worth. I'm right next door to you, man.
Already, buddy. Yeah, I heard this guy.
And why, man? What you got for us?
Well, I'm calling him because I used to be a Hebrew Israelite at one time. I used to be a Christian. I think this guy that you guys are talking about, Ultimate Truth, you don't realize the logical question you guys asking him, because you've been so blinded by the religion. And no matter how logical you sound, these people, they're not going to get it because they're not ready to see the truth, you know. And as an Israelite, at one point, I got to the point where, like, you know, I started asking questions like, man, you know, these contradictions that we see in the Bible and different things of that nature. And I just started putting stuff together, man. I started asking questions. And that's the problem. A lot of people, they're afraid to ask questions because once you get in a religion, you know, we're taught not to ask these questions. You know, it's against our God to ask these questions. But yet they say we have the freedom of speech. And this just goes to show you, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're not ready to see the truth for what it really is, even if it contradicts what you believe, no matter how logical you are, they're not going to understand it.
Thanks.
That's a man fact. Hey, welcome to the red pill, man. I'm glad you left that Hebrew. I call them nigger brews, man. 'Cause I be debating them all the time, man.
But
Yeah, welcome to the red pill, man.
That's facts, Rado, because it's like that movie, The Matrix, man. The first one, y'all remember that the one dude, he didn't want to be in the real world. He wanted to go back into the Matrix, you know. So like some people don't want to face reality. He like, I know the steak ain't real, but it tastes real. It look real. You know what I'm saying? And so he want to go back into the Matrix instead of face the real world, because sometimes the truth fucking hurts. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call it the cold hard truth, because it's cold and hard. But I'd rather face the cold hard truth than the false fluffy fake reality. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm glad you made it up out of that Hebrew Israelite doctrine, man, because it even though in my opinion it's probably not the worst Christian sect for black people, it's still harmful for black people. You know what I'm saying? So Congratulations, brother.
Correct. Yeah, man. I was looking at one of your videos and talked to a guy. He was trying to tell him about the serpent and how, in Job 2:2, he was all of a sudden he's walking and different things of that nature. And I'm listening, I'm like, people still don't get it, even how logical you're trying to break it down to them. How could you be cursed in one book and then you come in another book, all of a sudden this guy's walking to transform? Well, Satan, he can transform to anything. And the question is, if, God is all knowing, if he knew that he can just transform, what's the purpose of cursing him in the first place? And people just don't see that. I'm like, it's just logical stuff that I don't understand why you can't see it. And sometimes these are like intelligent people that just can't get past their religion. They just show you how, it really brainwashing, how strong brainwashing is, and the straight thing about it, man, it's like I had situations where I talk to people and they'll agree with me, but then they'll fall back in a religious state because that fear set in, like, I got to have something to believe in. If you feel like if you don't believe in their religion, you don't believe in anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so far of what it not is, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, why should I believe in something when I'm on a quest to knowing? If I don't know, then what's the point of believing in it? And that logic, they cannot understand.
Right. Yeah, man. I deal with the same thing, man. And what I realized since I've become an atheist, because I was on this little, what I call a spiritual journey since I was like 16 or whatever, but I didn't realize that I had lost my belief in a God till I was like 27. So since then, I've been talking about it, pretty vocally with people, and I realized that some people you just can't reach. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't. I don't want to use the wrong term, but some people are just a lost cause when it comes to this religion stuff, because indoctrination is very powerful and it's got such a hold on people's minds. It's like you said, man, it really don't matter how logical you are, how much evidence you show these people. Like, bruh, we had a debate with the flat earth dude. I literally showed him exactly what he wanted to see. He said, I want to see water in a ball. I showed him water in the ball, and I don't know what type of cognitive dissonance you have to not accept it, but he didn't accept it, even though he's looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
At some point, you just can't help certain people,
Yeah, man. Some people you debate with, bro, they're not trying to understand what you're saying. They only interested in you hearing them, even if they don't make no sense, And like I say, man, sometimes, bro, it's like, they can pretty much, damage their own way of thinking by, I put it like this here. Just by everybody that I know. I used to be a part of T.D. Jakes' church. I used to be a part of his ministry. Then I left there. I went to this guy named Ricky Rush. I know I heard the story of a guy calling one time. He said he was a part of Ricky Rush and all these different ministers, bro. Mm-hmm. And these people, a lot of these ministers, they already know what they're preaching is not real. You know what I'm saying? It's the followers that, they got to have somebody to believe in, or they feel like they can't cope. They're just pimping, basically just pimping neighborhoods. And there's a saying, but man, it's like whenever you see a bunch of churches in a neighborhood, the neighborhood either bad or it's poor or whatever. And what's happening, these organizations are draining the neighborhood. And when you have someone like us that come along and try to tell them, hey, look, do you not see what these people are doing to you? They're not trying to hear that, and it's, it's just, it's like Stockholm syndrome. Mm-hmm. No matter what, they're going to protect the abuser.
Facts, man. It is Stockholm syndrome, man. It's all that shit.
And, I want to ask you, brother, you know what I'm saying? This Kwame, man, what made you believe in the Hebrew Israelite doctrine, and what was your exit? What made you want to really exit the Hebrew Israelite doctrine? I know Deuteronomy 28:68 basically was like evidence, kind of like anecdotal evidence for you. Because I try to tell the guys that do believe in the Hebrew Israelite doctrine, I say, well, slavery was already taking place when Deuteronomy 28:68 was going on. Now, when you take it back to the Sinaiticus, it does not say that. Because that's the oldest version of the Deuteronomy 28:68. So that was pre-Hebrew. That was pre-Paleo-Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? So the oldest, yeah. So what was your entry and what was your exit? What made you want to enter it, and then what made you want to exit? You got the floor, brother.
Well, when I was a Christian, I was trained to be a minister, and I was a minister at one point, and I started seeing things that were going on in the Christian church that just didn't add up. You know, in the Bible where it talks about, you know, tithing and different things of that nature. You know, I was talking about how, you know, the commandments were done away with, but here we are, we still taking, you know, tithes. You know, we keeping that part of the commandment, the law, but the other law, you know, we want to do away with it. Don't have anything to do with church. So I started seeking, like, it got to be more to this. So I say maybe you know, that's another perspective of the Bible that I need to see. So I started watching these Israelites, which was, you know, the camps and different things of that nature. And they started talking about how the Bible was actually it was about us, you know, of course, Deuteronomy 28, you know, things started making sense in that, you know, in that instance, you know. I started looking like, okay, maybe this is about us, you know. You know, we was, you know, talking about white Jesus and different things of that nature. I thought, okay, maybe this is how it's messing us up mentally. You know, maybe this is why people don't understand, because of what we believed at the time, witchcraft, altering the minds. You know, looking at your superiors as white people, basically. So I started getting deeper and deeper into it, and I started telling like, okay, all this started making sense. I started knowing the scriptures a whole lot better and things of that nature. But then I started seeing like the dysfunction that's in Christianity is in the Hebrew-like community as well. You know, and the same preachers they was preaching against, you find a lot of the Hebrew Israelite leaders doing the exact same thing. You know, you got to pay this to be a part of it, and you basically have to protect the leader and stuff like that, all this rank stuff that was going on. So, you know, it was a bunch of hatred towards the women, and, you know, it was almost a competition of who knew the most. Now, like, these people claim they know the what we call the Most High so much. Why are they competing against each other? Why is always these scare tactics? Every time we turn around, there got to be a new boogeyman every year. All these fake prophecies and all these different things like that of the world about to end or Christ is coming back. It was always a scare tactic. I'm like, man. And then I started looking at things that they didn't want us to watch, like the atheist experience and, you know, the conscious community and whatsoever. You know, I'm like, now this makes sense. And, you know, when I started talking about the guy, I was praying. Before I left that, I was praying, man. I was like, sincerely praying, like, you know, God, I like, show me, you know, speak to me. You know, I was praying sincerely, man. Show me, you know, that you're real. Because the more I researched, the more I saw what I believed. It didn't have no what you would call, you know, no ground to it. It didn't have no legs to stand on, man. I'm like, everything that I believed in was starting to crumble. So I came back again. I was praying, like, show me, you know. And then I got to a point like, okay, I prayed, I'll get everything sincerely because I studied from sun up to sundown. You still haven't showed yourself. I'm at a point now, if you don't show yourself or show me something, you know, basically like that Doubting Thomas thing that's in the Bible, you know. He was like, you know, he wanted to see God appear before him before he even started believing. Where's the proof? And that's where I got, and there was no proof showed up, man. And I started looking at the scriptures from a different perspective, like started seeing contradictions after contradiction after contradiction. So I'm looking at like, okay, if I wasn't born in America, what religion would I be a part of? 9 times out of 10, if I was born in Saudi Arabia, I would probably be a Muslim. You know, I started looking at those different perspectives. So I started seeing most people only believe according to where they are born, you know, that the dominant religion of their culture, with the exception of a few. And I just started looking at it, man, like, you start seeing how other countries poor, how kids dying and, you know, terrible deaths and things are happening and stuff like that. And just recently they're having all these prophecies about how Donald Trump's supposed to be in office and different things of that nature, and all these prophecies stuck on it. And then they still trying to back it up. I'm like, people, do you not see, like, they constantly give you prophecy after prophecy every year and they fail. And when they fail, they don't stop. They make more excuses and make more prophecies, and people constantly give into that. And that kind of stuff, it just didn't sit right with me, man. Like, I don't understand. And most of my Israelite brothers that I know, they don't really know that I no longer really believe in it anymore, because I haven't talked to a lot of them. And a lot of them, if you don't believe what they believe, they no longer want to be your friend or be associated with you. And I'm like this here, if what I believe is the only reason why you're a friend of mine, I don't need you in my circle. You know, that's the way I feel about it.
That's true, man. That's another reason why we do the show to, you know, kind of give people, ex-religious people that voice to let y'all know, you know what I'm saying, you ain't alone out here. A lot of us going through this shit, and believe it or not, is more than a few, you know what I'm saying? It's we on the beginning stages of it, but religion overall, especially Christianity, is on the decline, and humanism, secularism, and atheism is on the rise. So really, we just ahead of the curve, man. But
Yeah.
it is like that, man. People will shun you out, and you'll be surprised, man, because I'm dealing with that shit right now with people in my family, you know what I'm saying? They want to excommunicate you just because you don't believe what they believe, you know what I'm saying? Even though, like you said, this is based on what I sincerely went out and researched. I went out and tried to find the truth of this shit. I was sincerely praying. I didn't get no answers. I did the same thing before I remember like it was yesterday, man, the day I claimed the term atheist. I was reluctant to do it because I was like, I'm gonna give it one more shot. You know, I was pretty sure that the God thing wasn't real, but I knew that I was gonna be questioned by Christians or believers to say, well, did you try? Did you look? Did you? So I wanted to have the answer yes when they asked me that shit. So I said, I'm gonna give it a few more days, and I'm just gonna pray. I'm gonna do everything I can to try to find this God character. And I prayed to everyone that I had heard of: Jesus, God, Allah, Horus, motherfucking all that shit. Nothing, no answers, nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I knew I was wasting my time, but I just wanted to humor it.
You know what they told you, right? I'm pretty sure you heard it. They say you wasn't a true believer in the first place.
Yeah, but
Get
you know
that
that's
all the
bullshit
time,
though,
man.
because like they might believe that shit, but just like they believe they true believers, you know you was a true believer, and I know I was a true believer. Like ain't no what is not a true believer. If you walking around saying you believe in God, then you do. It's just most people ain't never thought about it. You know what I'm saying? So when you start thinking about it, like you said, you start watching shows like this one or the Atheist Experience, and you start listening to motherfuckers like Ray Hagen and shit, that shit gonna make sense to you because the truth always makes sense. That's why it's the truth. So when you say, damn, I used to believe this, now I just heard this other thing, and this other thing makes more sense. Damn. Now you gotta reconcile this shit. Like, are you gonna go with what makes sense, or are you gonna go with what you was told? And what you got to do at that point is like, well, we ask the people questions. Well, how do you know that? What makes you think that's true? And when you ask yourself those questions, you realize, damn, I don't have a reason. How do I know this shit? How do I know God is real? Because somebody told me this shit. The same way I know Santa Claus is real. But Santa Claus actually has more evidence because I can turn on the news and I could see them tracking Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. They don't do that shit for God. So it's like Santa Claus got a better case for his existence.
But just think about it. Most people that told you that, you know, God was real, the same people that told you all these superstitious things back in the day, like, you know, you step on a crack, you break your mama back, and, you know,
Spit on the broom,
in
if
front
you get
of
your foot swept.
Check this out,
Yeah,
though,
you
man.
get your foot swept, you got to spit on the broom so you don't go to jail or not married. And I'm like, what
I think that shit is all planned,
every time I swept my...
Because they indoctrinate us as kids at a very young age, bro. I was in a CVS pharmacy the other day, and y'all know what CVS pharmacy is, right? It's like Walgreens or some shit.
Yeah.
So I go up in there. They have in the pharmacy section, they have like a little book nook. You know what I'm saying? Where they sell these little books. There's no adult books. It's all children books, and they all Christian children books about, you know, the story of Jesus, the flood, and all that shit. So they trying to reach these people at a very young age, and at the same age they learning about Jesus and Moses and the talking snake and the talking donkey. At the same time, they watching Dora the Explorer and SpongeBob and Scooby Doo and all these fake shit that with talking animals. So your mind as a child is open to all this stuff that's not real. And then at some point, They tell you, okay, well, Scooby-Doo's not real, Bugs Bunny's not real, but they never ever tell you if Jesus not real. So if you never think about it, you never question it, you grow up believing that shit, and it's so hard to stop believing something that you've been believing your whole life. And that's why people, even when you put the facts and the evidence in front of them, they still want to believe it, because it's like, man, my grandma told me, my grandma wouldn't lie to me. I've been believing this my whole life. You know what I mean? So like I was telling the other atheist dude when I first got started with the channel, Brian, he called in, and I was telling him, like, what if you found out that your name really wasn't Brian, and you found your birth certificate and it said Brandon on it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably wouldn't want to change your name, even though you found out your real name. It's like you had it for so long, you've been going by Brian for so long, and everybody know you as Brian. It's like, just keep calling me Brian, but your real name is Brandon. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what people are doing with their religion. They just had it for so long, they don't want to let it go, even though it's not theirs, and it ain't doing no good for them, and it ain't even real.
And this is another thing I want to touch on too, a superstitious belief. Like, if you stop believing in God's going to take your life, that is the ultimate fear, because we have an innate, well, I don't fear it no more, but when I was a Christian, I feared it, because it's like, I don't want to leave nobody behind, but it's also, I didn't fear it because I feel like, well, if I be a good Christian, I'm going to go to heaven. So when I stopped believing, I was like 27, 28. This is when I first moved to Austin. And my mom was like, you done got down there, started listening to people in Austin and them Africans telling you this. I said, Mama, nobody had to tell me not to believe. I basically came to my non-beliefs based on reason, logic, and evidence. Like, there is no evidence. So the biggest thing for me was, when I was 27, my mama said, well, I'm gonna keep your insurance paid up, because you stop believing in God, He gonna take your life. I'm 36 now, I'm about to be 37. So that's the fear factor that they try to use. Is you trying to, if you go back to believing, then you're gonna lie. But how many believers die? How many people that believe die? Oh, well, they was good Christian. They're gonna go to heaven because they kept their beliefs. No, they died waiting on Jesus. And I think every Christian should have that, or anybody that's religious, especially ultimate truth. Ultimate truth. When you die, I'm gonna make sure I put died waiting on Allah. Come back.
Yeah, man, I mean, like, even, I was telling somebody about a story, even in the Bible, it talks about Lot and his wife, right? And two angels supposed to, come up to him or whatever, and, they're supposed to be destroying the city. So the young and the old men come up to him, and, and they wanted to know him cornerly, right? Which means they wanted to sleep with the angel. So, instead of like, doing something else, the first thing he offered his daughters to a whole city of savages in the Bible and say, leave these angels alone. I got daughters in here that you can have. So, okay, but this is supposed to be a man of God, which sounds like a maniac to me. But it goes on in the Bible. He did all this. Now, that's wicked. If I was to do something like that, offer my daughters up to some men that's going to rape my daughters and kill my daughter. The only thing that saved his daughters was the fact that those men that was a part of that city didn't want them. They wanted the angels, which was male. So, as you go further and read on, nothing happens to Lot, even after he offered his daughters. But yeah, all his wife did was just turn around basically out of instinct, out of explosions behind her. And she's supposed to get turned into a pillar of salt. You tell me, what kind of logic do that make, man?
It don't make no sense. Like, it only makes sense coming from a chauvinistic, homosexual, ancient white male mentality.
Right. And guess who the daughters get left with? They get left with the fathers that were willing to give them up to a whole city of guys to rape them. I'm like, how could you, as a woman, look at this story and be like, that's godly, and God would allow that, bro? Like, I go even further, story in the Bible where, this man was sacrificing his daughter. He asked God to let him win a war. And whatever come out his front door.
Japheth and his daughter, was it Josh? Was it Japheth? Asked God to beat the Midianites. To beat the Midianites in another city. And I will sacrifice to you what comes out of my house. The first thing come out of my house. And I guess God knew that his daughter was gonna come out of his house.
Exactly.
God knew that shit. That's some bullshit. I'm like, wait a minute, dude. You could have sent a dog out or a cat or something, but you had to send my daughter out.
But here's the excuse. The excuse is that he sacrificed his daughter unto being a virgin the rest of her life. But if you read that scripture, it said, whatever come out of my front door, I will offer as a burnt offering, which means I will burn it as a sacrifice. And the crazy part about it is when he came home, he took his clothes off and out of, anger and, sadness. He hadn't even told his daughter what kind of deal he made with God first. And the first thing she say, okay, whatever deal you made with God, do unto me or whatever. I'm like, how in the hell did she know? He never even told her yet. So I'm like, how could people really look at this and think there's something of God? And the Bible said he did unto her what he said he was going to do. And people still believe that. And how can you not look at these stories? You know why? Because people don't read their book that they say they believe in.
They don't. And they don't like Steve the Theorist said, they don't read it in order. So that should be a big red flag right there. What type of book you don't read in chronological order? That should let you know something right there.
Right. Yeah, and there was no chronological writings. I would say there was no chronological writing before Homer. So where did they get this chronological writing from? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. But yeah.
But here's man. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I finished my point. Go ahead.
The ironic part is, you go into Christianity, they love talking about Illuminati, human sacrifices, and things of that nature of the movie industry, and entertainers. But you just read that book got all of that in there, and it's godly. You know what I'm saying? According to that book, you got human sacrifices, you got all this stuff going on in the Bible, even parts where two women made an agreement to eat each other's baby and boil it, and one ran away after they ate the other woman's baby and stuff like that. All this stuff in the Bible, which is in Kings. All you got to do is read all these stories. It's a book full of witchcraft. It's a book of human sacrificing. Any kind of horror you ever want to know is in the Bible. And the sad part about it is God allow it and see it holy. But they don't look at that part of the book.
And I want to say this. I want to touch on something then with the Hebrew Israelites when God told the Israelites that He would make them eat their children. And I have not seen an Israel. If that was a prophecy or a curse, then I don't see no Hebrew Israelite eating their children. Like, right. Yeah. So I guess the Hebrew Israelite looked over that for all now. We ain't eat our kids, man. I ain't got no hot sauce for that shit.
Yeah. Right. This part, where it talks about, your child disobedient or whatever, you're supposed to take it to the city and stone it to death. People are not following it. They pick and choose what they want to believe. And, you look at a lot of Hebrew Israelites, they go around and brag about, we are the chosen people and we this and we that. But we are chosen people by default because if you really read the Bible, it was Esau that was chosen. And the only reason why he was chosen is because Esau gave his birthright up. You wasn't even the first chosen. You wasn't even, you was basically given and you swindled Esau out of that according to the Bible. So really, if you really look at it, you know what I'm saying, that's nothing to brag about when it comes to the Bible because you wasn't even his first chosen.
And that's the whole design of the Bible, man. Divide and conquer. I'm gonna promise you this. I'm gonna promise this to you. I'm gonna promise this to y'all. And I'm gonna promise this to y'all. And got everybody, even thousands of years later, still going behind the shit. They don't just read the book and see, okay, this shit is contradicting itself. You know what I'm saying? You can't leave. Right. You can't say that this son is getting the inheritance in this verse, in this chapter, and then in this book, this son is getting it. And then fast forward 1,000 years later, y'all going to war with this shit. And when you look at the big picture, you know what I'm saying? It makes sense. Go ahead, Kwame.
Oh, my bad, man. Shout out to DSA1. This is DSA1 say, my thing is, why couldn't the angels defend themselves from the men? That's a very good question. Ain't angels powerful? That's a good question. Damn good question. Right. Shout out to DSA1. Go ahead, yo.
Those are facts, man. I said the exact same thing.
Yeah, man. And what about God saying? I think it's in Deuteronomy 23:2, and I think I read it last week when God Killer was on. Like if you were born out of wedlock, you can't enter the fellowship or something like that. And I know it's a bunch of Hebrews are like born out of wedlock.
Right.
Maybe that's why they stand outside.
They even said something about being deformed. It even said something in the Bible about being deformed. If you're a deformed child, you cannot even enter the kingdom. Things that you can't even control, that you will be left out of the kingdom for. It's just all these old crazy things that you have no control over.
Say somebody having a flat nose and
Yeah, even let's say for instance, you and your wife get in a fight or whatever, and if your wife grab another man's private part, you are supposed to cut her hand off, according to the Bible. You know, it's about grabbing her grabbing his part. I can't. I'm just paraphrasing. Said somebody she grabbed his penis or something like that, his balls or whatever. Excuse me, I don't mean to, get vulgar or nothing like that, but it's in there where if she grab another man trying to protect you, that she is to be punished.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what kind of stuff is this, man?
And not only that, abortion in Numbers chapter 12, the whole chapter of Numbers chapter 12, it talks about if a man has a jealous spirit upon him, that he may take his wife before the priest, and then she must confess by eating barley or something like that. It's supposed to, if she's supposed to eat this shit and she basically has a miscarriage, then she's been cheating it. But if she eat it and she don't miscarry, then she's been faithful. That's crazy. Like, that is so, you know what I'm talking about? That verse in Numbers chapter 12.
Yeah.
It's like a abortion thing. Like, she gotta eat this, and if her belly rots and swells, then she was basically cheating. If she don't, then that would mean she was fine. So basically, if it was poison, she's fucked anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, even you look at a bunch of people they burned to death. They even did that, trying to convert people to religion. You didn't believe in it, they set you on a stake and set you on fire and different things of that nature. I personally just basically make up accusations and accuse you of being a witch. And you know how naive the religious are. They'll just believe it. You know, if you knew how to swim or whatever, and you didn't drown, you was a witch. If you survived, you're a witch. If you drowned, you wasn't. I mean, what kind of crazy crap is that? Somebody lost their life if they wasn't a witch, or whatever, man.
And then they say, I guess she wasn't a witch, but she did now.
Right.
It's shit crazy, man. I respect Hebrews and Christians a lot more if they follow everything that they say that they preaching, you know what I'm saying? Because they say, oh, the Bible is true, and all this and that. But then when I say, why you ain't got no slaves from the nations around you, like the Bible say, oh, well, that was then. This, but then you gonna follow this. Well, why come you still following thou shalt not kill? That was then too. Oh, well, this, that, and third. Right. Mental gymnastics, you know what I'm saying? So I don't respect them because they don't they be picking at you, they cherry pick, so they say, well, I want to believe this book, but I don't want to believe that book. And they all coming out the Bible. So are you a believer or are you not, man? So that's my whole gripe with Hebrew Israelites, man. Y'all not real within y'all own religion. Y'all don't even follow y'all own doctrine.
Right. Yeah, but if you watch the whole thing, the way things are going, man, you will see that society never evolved around the Bible. The Bible always evolved around society.
Facts.
However, society changed, all of a sudden things are more acceptable now, or where the Bible prophesies this, the Bible prophesies that. Even to the point where they talk about how the wheel in the middle of the wheel represent aliens and different things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there is no aliens. I'm just saying I never saw one. But you can take the Bible and make it say whatever you want it to say. Mm-hmm. I had this situation with my wife. The good thing about me and my wife, she was a Christian, and she know how I think about the Bible and different things of that nature. But she's evolving out of that, and most people that have different beliefs, they can't coexist together because they are constantly bumping their head. I don't have that problem with my wife. She respects the way I think, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, she's coming out of the situation that she's in. If a person really loves you and care for you, man, regardless of how you think, and they're going to take a look at what you believe, and they're not going to look at you crazy and just automatically leave you like that, man. I see that so much in religion. I even see where pastors was the biggest cause of breakups and divorces and things like that, because they get in another man's business, maybe favoring his wife more than he is because he's not coming to church or something, talking down to man. I've been there, man. I used to be what they would call basically a security for a pastor, an armor bearer. And I just see these pastors, man, they talk about these guys in the church, man, like they cause so much division, bro. Like, how is this is the guy y'all serve, he allowing this, and you still in the pulpit? You causing disruption in people's marriages? You know, you basically pimping his wife. She washing your drawers, and, you know, she bringing you something to eat and all that, man. You know, and on top of that, it ain't no different than pimping, bro. You going out working and bringing the money while you sitting there just collecting the money and draining the communities and different things of that nature, man. This has nothing to do with a book. It's got everything to do with a man that's trying to survive, just like a pimp. And I wish people would understand that, you know. Even this last guy that called Ultimate Truth, he keep talking about y'all not giving him time and this and when I remember the last show, you gave him 5 minutes, he still didn't say nothing. Like, you did more talking about, you know, what you know and who ain't listening, this and that, when you could have used that time to prove what you believe is true. And this is the mindset. I don't mean to talk about the brother, you know what I'm saying, and I don't mean no disrespect. But if you come on this show and you're trying to prove what you believe is real, talk about the proof. And people be able to at least respect what you're saying a little more. If you come there, and there was a guy on the last show that came after him, he was doing a lot of cussing, and it was like calling you stupid and dumb and this and that, but he absolutely made no sense whatsoever. And he sounded like a Hebrew Israelite to me, to be honest with you.
One thing about Black Jesus.
Hold on, Kweli. We got another caller right quick. 909. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Ezra, and I'm calling from California.
All right, Israel. What do you believe and why?
I'm a Christian, but I wanted to ask you guys a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you please lay out your metaphysic for me, please?
Your what now?
Your metaphysic.
My medicine Vic?
Yeah, your metaphysic, your explanation for the fundamental nature of reality, knowledge, and existence.
Oh, that's real easy. I don't have one.
Okay, then why are you positing anything? Why are you getting on a YouTube live stream and saying anything? That's ridiculous.
Oh, so you think I have to have an answer to all the questions in the universe to say something on YouTube? See, the thing is, you got to understand where the burden of proof lies. As an atheist, I'm not saying that I know where everything comes from. All I'm saying is that Christianity, I'm picking on Christianity because you said you were a Christian, but religion, any religion, specifically Christianity, has not met its burden of proof. So I didn't come up and say, hey, I know where the universe came from. You did. Y'all said God made the universe, and I said, prove it. And you couldn't prove it, so I said, I don't believe you. And that's why I'm on YouTube saying I don't believe you.
Oh, so you don't have a metaphysic, but you determined that Christianity hasn't been proven, correct?
Exactly. Can you prove it?
So you can't even, wait, hold on. You can't even determine that if you don't have a metaphysic. First, you need to appeal to an ultimacy for your epistemology.
Let me ask you a question.
Where does your epistemology even? Hold on. Where does your epistemology come from?
Let me ask you a question, because you're having a hard time understanding where the burden of proof lies. So we're gonna walk through this.
No, I understand what you're saying, but you don't have a metaphysic.
Okay,
that's
so
what I'm getting at.
You don't understand what I'm saying, because if you understood what I'm saying, then you wouldn't be trying to make that point. So listen to what I'm about to ask you a couple of questions.
I do.
Hey, Kweli, you know who this is? This is Venomfang X, man. He's a creationist. This is Venomfang X, bro.
I don't know who that is, but let me ask you a question.
I know who he is,
dude. If you are
yeah, go ahead.
I got dreads, right? I got dreadlocks. That's a hairstyle that black people.
Okay.
And there's a certain number.
I'm black too, so.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell by your voice. I'm sorry, but there's a certain number of dreadlocks in my head. All right. Is the number of dreadlocks in my head an odd number or an even number?
I could be neutral towards that.
You don't know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, why are you saying anything? If you don't know how many dreads are in my head, why are you saying anything?
Yeah, that's a category error. That's exactly
what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. Talking about a explanation for the universe. You know what I'm saying? So just because
we're talking about a transcendental. That's a category error.
Hold on, bro. Just because I don't know how the universe came about, and you don't know how many dreads are in my head, doesn't mean that automatically my answer becomes true just because you don't know. What I have to do is I have to prove to you that the number of dreads in my head is an even number, if that's what I say, by counting them or showing you the evidence that it's actually an even number. What you have to do is show me.
No, I can explain to you why that's. I can explain to you why that's.
No, what you can do is be quiet and let me finish my sentence. What you have to do is explain to me why Christianity is true. Don't come up here asking me why I don't have an explanation for the universe. You talking about your religion is true. That's what we're talking about here. So if you think your religion is true, then prove your religion. Because I'm not up here saying that I know where everything come from. That's religion's job to say they know every goddamn thing. We saying prove what you say you know. So since you can't do that, that's why your bitch ass ran. Who is that, Kwame? I ain't never heard this dude before.
Once again, he kind of. I don't understand as a believer. Your job is to try to preach whatever you believe, or trying to do your best to convert a person. But it seems like these believers today, they get upset so fast because you don't believe what they want to believe. And it's almost like it's you're trying to control. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you make a claim, prove it. It's that simple.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your explanation for the universe? I don't know where the universe came from, bro. What's your explanation? Oh, well, if you ain't got an explanation for the universe, then you must accept my religion. No, bro. Can you prove that your religion is true? Because the reason why I'm not a Christian is not because I think I found the answer. It's because I think you haven't. I've been a Christian before, and I looked at it, I scrutinized it, and it does not stand up to scrutiny. If it did, I would still be a believer. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to know how goddamn cells go through mitosis in order to stop believing in fairy tales. That's not a prerequisite for me to stop believing in bullshit, sir.
Yeah, and that was Venom Fang X. He's a creationist. He's a young Earth creationist. I can tell by the voice. I used to watch him, and actually Thunderfoot, which is an atheist. He was making fun of Venom Fang X. So that's who that was. He's the one. He's the creationist that believed that the Great Flood caused the Grand Canyon in 5 minutes. That it took 5 minutes to create the Grand Canyon.
He ain't never heard of the.
That's who that was. Yeah, so that's why he didn't say nothing. I was like, this is Venom Fang X. I remember that voice. Like that's why he didn't say nothing.
Yeah, he did.
So this yeah. So this is the thing. He's still going off of belief. So he's gonna talk about metaphysics. Metaphysics is not physical. That means it's not physical. So how did God? So I wish he would call back in. I wish he would call back in and tell me how God made it. How this metaphysical God made a physical universe, and what materials did God use to make the universe? Why do we have a physical universe from a metaphysical deity, from a non-physical deity? How did that happen?
Right.
The first question he asked was about what was my explanation for some of the universe. Did we ever say we had one? That we know where the universe came from? Do we talk about any of that shit on this show? Like,
no, never have. As long as this show been going on, we never see. Right? Yeah, this ain't. We know the universe. Go ahead.
That's just the cockiness and the narcissistic mindset it is that religion put on people. They have this cockiness as if, if you don't believe what I believe, and it's almost as if, they preach about unity, but it's the most divided organization on the face of this planet is religion. If you don't believe what I believe, I don't have nothing to do with you, or it's you dumb, or you're an idiot, you this or you that. It ain't got to be that. If you don't know, you don't know. It's okay to say you don't know.
Oh, you back? What's up, bro?
I think you came back.
Yeah. I'm back. But the guy you're saying that I am, I'm not him.
You sound like him. You sound like Venom Fang X. So.
No, I got this. I got this live invitation from my friend.
Okay.
Now the thing about your dreads, that's a category error. I was trying to explain that to you, but you wouldn't allow me to.
Go ahead and explain to me what's the category error.
Yeah, so I could be neutral towards your hair because everything in existence doesn't necessitate referencing your hair. Now, in a world where God exists, everything would necessarily reference God. So, I could be neutral towards your hair, based off of that fact. So that would be a category. Now, you don't know what the ground of all being is, so you can't posit anything anyway. You don't even have an epistemology.
What makes you think that there is a ground of all being, sir?
What makes me know? Well, I know. See, that's the thing. I don't think I know there's a ground of all being.
Okay, so if you know, you should be able to demonstrate it, right? Knowledge is demonstration, not belief.
Yeah, so now you got to
Yeah,
so if you know something,
it's been revealed through natural and special revelation.
So demonstrate it.
Yeah, at some point during neurological development, we've determined that we come from a higher source, a higher being.
How is that? Because you got three.
Now,
people
special revelation.
Determined that.
Yeah, hold on. Special revelation would be the revelation of God, this Christian God, and specifically.
How do you know that?
Yeah, I've determined that. During one point during neurological development that what Jesus says in the Bible about knowledge and us being made in His image is true. So it's called transcendental circularity.
Yeah, you're still not showing how you know that that's true. You're just stating claims here. How do you know that these things are actually?
No, I just inserted transcendental circularity.
Or what does that mean?
I just did.
I don't know what that means. You got to explain it to me.
So we're talking about a transcendental, and we're talking about things being revealed. We're talking about things pointing to an ultimate reference point. So
how do you know the Christian God did it? How do you know the Christian God did it and not Zeus? How do you know the Christian God did it and not Horus or Osiris or
the Christian God is under a category of the necessary precondition for intelligibility and relation.
Says who? Says who?
It says God, and it's self-attesting. It's right there in the Bible.
So how do you know God said it?
That's like you asking your mom. That's like if I ask you, how do you know your mom told you that she loved you?
How do you know?
That's a stupid question.
I can get my mom on the phone right now. Can you get God on the phone?
No, I can't get God on the phone. So what does that have to do with the conversation?
He asked you a question.
What does that have to do with the
conversation said those
conversation
things
going
in the
on?
Bible, and not just somebody wrote it in the Bible. How you know it actually came from God?
Oh yeah, I told you, transcendental circularity. Everything that the Christian God posits inside of the Bible is self-attesting, and it's true.
So it's a circular,
it's
circularity, right? You're making a circular argument. You're saying the Bible is true because the Bible says it's true.
Yeah.
We're asking you, how do you know the Bible?
No, I'm using.
You understand that a circular?
Yeah, I'm using transcendental circularity. Transcendental circularity. There's a difference between vicious circularity and transcendental circularity.
Yeah, I don't care about that because it still don't make no damn sense. You cannot prove that the Bible is true based on the Bible. If you say the Bible is the word of God, and Kwame said, how do you know the Bible is the word of God? And you say, well, because it says it right here in the Bible. I can write a book right now that says I'm the son of God, and then it's going to say
sure,
right
sure.
there.
Do you have wait, hold on. Do you have an alternative to that? Do you have an alternative to do you have a defeater for God saying that
yes.
Everything He says is true? Do you have a defeater to that?
Yes.
If not, then you shouldn't be. Okay, what is your defeater? Lay it out for me.
I got a book. It's called the Holy Book of Kweli Kush, and it says right there in that book that I'm the son of God, and it says anybody who denies this is obviously lying, and it says that there's 5,000 witnesses to me dying and being born again, and it says in the foreword of the book that this whole book was written by the creator of the universe that you call God. So how you gonna sit there and believe the Bible when my book says all of this stuff, and I got way more witnesses in my book?
Yeah, because you're a dependent being.
Because I'm a dependent being.
How so? What?
Yeah, you're a human.
So what is not a dependent
being?
I'm
a human.
Give me an example of what's not a dependent being.
The ground of all being and ultimacy.
All right, give me an example.
Precondition for everything.
Of the ground of all being. Where is this? Where can I
timeless,
see this?
spaceless, immaterial,
Okay.
Everything derives
Now
and
think
depends
about this.
upon it.
All right, think about this real carefully. If something is timeless, that means it exists for no seconds. If it's spaceless, that means it does not take up any space. If it's immaterial, that means it's not made up of anything. What you just described is something that's identical to something that is not in existence. Do you understand that, sir?
No, we're talking about a transcendental, so that would be fully
Let me ask you in
coherent.
another way.
You're applying hold on. You're applying a ultimacy to us, like we're dependent beings. We have physical properties, right? So that means that we are physical. We take up space. We use time, right? So that would be a false equivalence.
Can you name
Try
anything
to compare
in existence that is not physical?
Yeah, God.
Is God
doesn't
in
take
existence?
any,
Can you
he
prove that God
doesn't
is in
have-
existence? Because we say that God
Can
does
I
not
prove that
exist.
God is what?
In existence. Does God actually exist? Because last time I checked, everything that actually existed was physical. It's made up of something. It's nothing immaterial. This immaterial stuff, all this stuff that you're just making up, this ultimate ground for all being and this timeless space. I mean, these are all this stuff that you believe in that you made up. These are not real things that actually exist in reality.
So if you don't appeal to a timeless, spaceless, and immaterial ultimacy, just a quick side note, then you have to appeal to an infinite regress of time.
No, you don't.
I just wanted to quickly lay out that.
So, all right. First of all,
So do you have an alternative to that?
No. Because first of all, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I don't know the answer to that, and I'm gonna give you the answer when I get more data. See, religious people think we got to answer everything. We don't have to answer everything. Like you said, we're humans. We didn't evolve to understand what went on at the Big Bang and all that shit. We evolved on Earth, so we understand what's going on Earth. What's up?
So I'm still here. So you just said something that is timeless and spaceless and immaterial cannot exist.
I said it does not exist. So what I want to know is, how can I tell the difference between what you're describing and something that doesn't exist? Because something that doesn't exist is also timeless, spaceless, and immaterial. So if I got two things, one of them is not in existence, and one of them is timeless and spaceless and immaterial, how can I tell them apart? Yeah,
because the one that is timeless, spaceless, and immaterial, everything in existence necessitates referencing it because it is an ultimacy.
Okay, so where's God at right now?
Huh?
I want to ask him, where's God at right now?
Outside of the universe.
What?
So how are you going to create something outside of itself? How are you going to be a creator outside of the...
He said he's outside the universe. The universe is everything in existence. So he's saying God is outside of everything in existence. So God does not exist.
No, the universe is a set of physical things that exist.
All right, again,
okay,
there
so
is
God
that is not physical. Can you name something that is not physical? And you said this God thing, and we're asking you to prove that the God exists, and you say he's outside the universe. So now he's not here. He's not made of anything. He doesn't have any time, and he's immaterial. He's not physical. What is he? We want to know what he is. You telling us everything that God is not.
The ground of all being.
The ground of all being. And we said that's
I told you
that
he's the ground of all being.
There is no ground of all being. The ground of all being is the universe. Ain't no ground of all being. That's in your head.
No, that's fallacious. That's fallacious.
It's fallacious for you to say that God is the ground of all being.
Is the universe
that God exists? Prove that your claim is true.
Then you're positing that hold on. You made a claim and I want you to prove it to me. You just made the claim the universe is the ground of all being. Demonstrate how something that is physical can be the ground of all being or precondition for everything. You have to demonstrate that now because you made the claim already.
Sure. Okay. Everything is physical. So therefore, if there was a ground of all being, it too would have to be physical because we don't have any example of anything not physical actually existing. That's a logical syllogism for you right there that should prove to you that whatever you're talking about must be physical. Even if God exists, he has to be made of something. He can't be made of nothing.
Okay. Now where do universal laws come from?
What do you mean by universal laws? Like,
laws of logic, laws of mathematics, things like that. Those universal laws. Where do they come from now?
Well, we
They
made
come
up the
from
laws of
humans.
logic. So
Yeah.
math.
No, we didn't make them up. We discovered them.
No, we
we
made
didn't
them up,
create
bro.
gravity. We discovered it.
I didn't say
We were able to comprehend it.
Okay, you asked about the laws of logic, and now you're asking about gravity. That's why I asked you to clarify what you're talking about. We made up the laws of logic.
Yeah, I'm asking you, where do they come from?
What is
This ain't
the
got
laws of
nothing to do with
clarify what you're
God.
talking about, bro? Because you mentioned two different things. You talking about laws of logic, or you talking about scientific stuff like gravity?
All laws, all universal
Okay, they
laws,
don't-
where do
all
they
right.
come from?
What do you mean by universal laws?
Like
Give an example.
the category of the universal laws, which would be laws of logic, laws of gravity, laws of
They
mathematics.
don't go
Where do
together.
they all come from?
You can't ask me that question. That's like saying where were you
These
born?
are a
Where was,
set of
where was he born?
universal
Where was he
laws.
born? And you expecting the same answer.
I'm not asking you for one individually. I'm asking you for all of them. Where do
Okay,
all of them come
I just told
from?
you. We made up the laws of logic. Okay. We made up the laws of math. It just so happens that we can use those, the stuff that we made up, to describe very accurately the things that go on in the universe. So the
That's
gravity
false.
and all that stuff, these are things
That's
that we
false.
observe. These are things that we observe that happen in the universe that we put labels on. So mass attracts mass. We humans call that action gravity. Where does it come from? It doesn't come from. It just simply is that mass attracts mass. It doesn't have to come from anything. When you think about like where did it come from, that what forces you to make up a god or something. Always got to come from something. But that's a
Yeah,
dumb
and
question.
he's using the God of the gaps argument, which is a logical fallacy, which he has yet to been able to demonstrate his God. So you want to say that's relations your God?
You said we created universal laws. We didn't. We were able to comprehend and understand them. We just discovered them. So that is completely retarded. And another thing, I still want you to lay out your epistemology for me.
Because
you
first of all,
haven't
I
even
didn't say
done
that, bro. I said we made up the laws of logic. I didn't say you use that term universal laws. I don't talk like that. That's some shit you made up. What's your next question?
Hey, Kwame,
No.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Wait, but
I got a
can you guys please lay out your epistemology for me?
What's your question, Ray?
Okay, all right. This is one of those. The guy, he sounds intelligent, but this one of these sneaky God of the gap situations. Let's stick with the Bible, bro. Like, I got a question. Okay, he says the Bible is true and the Bible is the Word of God. Okay, and that's what he believes. He's a Christian. I got a question. Answer this question for me, brother. Okay, the Bible talks about Jesus on the mount, right? And he's talking to the disciples. And the disciple asked him about the end of time. When is the end of the world going to come? And he tells them, I tell you, those who standing here today shall not taste death until the Son of Man returns. They was asking about the end of the world. 2,000 years later, they all dead. Explain to me if the Bible is the true word of God, why are they dead and Christ haven't returned yet? Either he already returned or the book is lying. So that's a contradiction.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm asking you to explain that.
Before I can give you an answer, because you might want to give a rebuttal, you still need to lay out your epistemology so that you can posit anything about my justification or about my answers.
So do you
You
care
still
about what's
haven't done
actually
something?
true, or do you just want to be a winner of a debate? Because if you care about what's actually true, I think you should just answer the question. You talking about we first have to do this and we first have to do that, or we can't make it's ain't about what we can make. You're the one claiming to have the answers. We're asking you to teach us, enlighten us. You got a chance right now to
Yeah,
save
I've
3
demonstrated
atheists
how-
and bring us to Christ, bro. You got the flow right now. Are you gonna do that, or are you gonna ask
Oh
us
my
about our
gosh.
goddamn epistemology?
Yeah, so I've already demonstrated how the Christian God has revealed himself. I've already demonstrated how he's the ground of all being. Now, you guys haven't even laid out your
Are you gonna answer the
epistemology
question
for
that he
me.
just asked
No,
you?
you made the claim. No, you made the claim that your Christian God is the of all being. How do you know you got it right? If you're born in Saudi Arabia, would you be a Christian or a Muslim? If you was born in India, would you be a Christian or a Hindu?
Yeah, that varies. That depends. Why are you asking me such a retarded question when I'm asking?
No, it's not a
for your
retarded question because
epistemology?
no, it's not a retarded question because it basically your religion is based off your demographics, where you were born. So you're born in
No,
America,
that's
so
false.
it's
That's
you're
that's
Christian.
100% false.
Okay, so ask me the question. If you was born a Hindu, would you be a Christian or a Hindu?
In India.
If I was born in where?
In India.
If you was born in India, if you was born in India or Nepal or whatever, would you be a Hindu or a Christian?
Why are you asking me a probability question? Because it is probable that I could be born.
No, see, everybody has different religions, right? And you're claiming that you got the right religion and that your God is the creator of the universe. But the Indians, they say Vishnu created the universe. Are they wrong? Does Vishnu exist?
No, he doesn't.
Well, welcome to atheism. I just go one God further. But welcome to atheism because you don't believe in their God.
No, that's retarded.
No,
Look
no,
up the definition of
if
atheism.
you don't believe, hold on.
Atheism is the denial of the existence of God.
No, it's the lack of belief.
It is not the lack. It is
the
not
lack of belief. You want to bet?
That's
you want to
plain.
bet?
Dude, you are not going
you
to
got
call
$2,000.
up
You want to bet?
You are not going to call up here to an atheist show and tell us what atheism is, bro. How disrespectful can you be? Do we call a Christian show and tell you what Christians think and what they believe? You're talking to atheists who's telling you that atheists do not claim that there is no God. Only thing they do is not believe your ass when you say there is. It's not the same thing. That's why I asked you the question about my dreads in the beginning. If there is a number of dreads in my head, everybody knows that I got dreads. There is a number of dreads in my head, and that number has to be either odd or even. It's one or the other. There's no in between. It's either odd or it's even. It's just like God. God either exists or he don't. It's only two possibilities. Ain't no in between. Ain't no kind of exist. My hair can't have a kind of an odd number. It's one or the other. So which one is it? You know what I'm saying? If you say that it's definitely even, then you, my friend, have the burden of proof. If I say I don't know because I haven't counted my dreads, then you can't say, oh, well, you believe that it's odd. That's not what I said. I said I don't know because I haven't counted my dreads. And I'm saying I don't know if you saying it's even. I'm saying I don't know. I don't believe you because I haven't counted them yet. You're saying it's definitely even. I'm saying, bro, I haven't counted them yet, so I don't know. And you saying, well, you saying it's odd then. No, nigga, I'm not saying it's odd. I'm saying I don't know because you haven't counted them and I haven't counted them. We don't have any proof of how many dreads I got in my head if it's even or odd. Same thing with God. You say he exists. I say I don't know. I haven't seen this motherfucker. And you say, well, you saying he don't exist. No, nigga, I'm saying I haven't seen this motherfucker. Can you show that he does or that he don't? I'm just saying I haven't seen this motherfucker. I'm not saying that he do.
And you know, the logical fallacies that he was creating, and he's basically made baseless assertions that his God is the all to be all, you know what I'm saying? But he never demonstrated that this God was the ultimate creator or whatever. And then when I asked him about, well, what if you was a Hindu? Would you believe that Vishnu? He said, and I asked him, I said, is Vishnu real? He said, no. And I said, welcome to atheism. And then you deny the existence of other gods. So I just go one God further.
He couldn't give you a straight answer when you said, what was the last question you asked him? I forgot.
I asked him if he was born in India or if he was born in Saudi Arabia, would he be a Muslim or, you know what I'm saying, or Christian, you know, basically his demographics. And I told him, I said, your religion is based off your demographics because if you was in India, you would be a Hindu. If you was in Saudi Arabia or Middle East somewhere, you'd be a Muslim.
Because what happened is he thought about it before he answered it. And he realized if I answer this shit, it's gonna lead down the path of me being wrong. So he said, why you asking me a probability question? He didn't answer Ray's question when he said, what about Jesus saying that this shit all gonna happen, I'll be back before y'all die, and then it's 2,000 years later all the motherfuckers dead. He couldn't even answer the question. You gotta go back to what's your epistemology. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't matter. We asking about your claim. You making the claim, so you the one said that I got an even number of dreads in my head. And we saying we not sure. And you talking about what's your epistemology? Nigga, you the one made the claim.
Then he had the nerve to call into a black atheist show too, like real talk. And they're gonna tell us to hold on, like, dude.
He gonna try to tell us what atheism is. Atheism. Then he said some shit. He said you was wrong about religion being based on your demographic. Oh, that's patently false. Come on now, everybody know that's true. You can look at a fucking map of religion and see that it go right along with the map of the country. Nigga.
Exactly. They got pie charts for this shit, so I guess he haven't looked outside his Bible for a pie chart or a world map that says, okay, these people over here that's in the Tibetan mountains, they're Jainism, or they have a different god, or Buddhist. Or the people in India, they're Hindus. 90% of them is Hindus, and then
Area
he
337. You on the New Atheist Experience? What's your name and where you calling from? Area code 337. You are on the air. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, unmute your mic. You might have your mic muted.
I don't know what it is with this one. But can I be heard?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's your name?
Yeah, it's James. Let me plug my earphones back in and see if you're still able to hear me. I'll just raise up my volume now. Okay, so you guys are atheists?
Yes, sir. First, before we get into that, where you calling from, James? And what do you believe in? Why?
Yeah, Louisiana.
Okay. And what do you believe, sir?
Yeah, I believe in God.
Which God?
Now, are you atheist? I mean, you're atheists that claim that there is no God, or you claim that you simply have lack of belief in God?
I gotta know which God you're talking about first. I don't know which God we talking about. We talking about Zeus, Hercules, Thor.
Well, yeah, there's only one God, which is the primary cause for all that is.
That's not true. Come on now, all these gods that've been proposed over the millennia. There's lots of gods. Romulus, Zalmoxis, Horus.
Oh, so you're not an atheist? So you believe in lots of gods? So you're a polytheist?
I don't believe in anything. I'm asking you, which God are you talking about? Because you asking me, do I believe in God?
No, you just claim there's lots of gods, so that would make you a polytheist. You just claim there are lots of gods.
All right. Listen.
So that would make you a polytheist based on your claim.
Listen to me, James. Just because I'm listing proposed gods doesn't mean I think they are real. I can name Scooby-Doo, Donald Duck, Bugs Bunny. That don't mean that I think that those creatures are real. You understand? So what I'm doing right now.
The claim that you made is false, and you're admitting the claim you just made is false. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I believe in the one true God, the God that created all that is, and I can get you to admit that God exists.
Which God are you talking about here? Because you're talking about, or understand that I don't think that all that is was created.
Yeah, I just answered your question. I don't know if you heard me, but
All right, I don't know if you heard me, but I don't believe that the universe was created. So when I ask you which God, and your answer is the God that created the universe, what you're actually saying is the God that doesn't exist. So you have to be more specific. Stop being a smartass and answer my question. Which God are you talking about? And I can have a conversation with you. Which God are we talking about?
Yeah, I just answered your question by saying the God, the primary.
All right, this nigga get off the fucking phone. We ain't got time for that shit. You call up here, be ready to have a real conversation. Don't call up here with no bullshit. I'll hang up on you. I got the switchboard right here. I'm not finna sit up here and deal with your bullshit, and you're not finna get no airtime not answering the questions. All right? This is a show where we try to get to the truth, not where you gonna call up here and try to do some fucking mind tricks and shit. If you can't answer a simple question like which God are you talking about, then you can't fucking have a conversation with me, bro. It's a simple question.
And I hate when they say the one true God. Who is it?
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm like,
I'm
an atheist, bro. How condescending can you be talking about the one true God to a fucking atheist, bro? That's so fucking fucked up. There ain't no one true God. And
that's the thing. That's the thing, man. With the last caller, and then this guy, this one true God of the universe, that's the creator. Who are we talking about? That's what we're trying to get y'all. We're trying to understand this God character. And when he made the statement that you named all these guys and you're automatically a polytheist, and you had to clear it up, and he still didn't get the fact. He still didn't get it. And that's we ain't got time for that. Like anybody can call on the show, like I said, if you're gonna sit up here on our show and you're just gonna basically play mind games and do all these basically these circular arguments and stuff, we'll hang up on you because we ain't got time for it. Come up here, present your claim, demonstrate your claim, and we'll see if you can get us to convert. You know what I'm saying? But that's not going to happen.
Have a conversation, answer the questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I I gave Ultimate Truth a lot more time than that before I hung up on him. You see, but when he got to the point where he didn't want to answer the question, I had to hang up on him too. But it's gonna be the same thing with anybody. I don't even care if you were atheist. If you call up here and you can't answer a simple fucking question and we can't have a conversation, you're gonna get hung up on, dog. Like I ain't never been in a situation where a motherfucker asked me a question and I couldn't answer it. Like what type of mental manipulation are you trying to do where you can't answer a simple question? I could see if I was asking you some old bullshit question like bro was doing, what's the transcendental cause of the super metaphysical and all that shit.
Word salad.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't even asking you all that shit. I'm asking you a simple question. Which God you talking about, bro? What's his name? Like which you talking about the God of the Bible? You talking about Allah? You talking about Zeus? You talking about Thor? There's been so many gods proposed, and you talking about the one true God. Bitch ass nigga. If I knew which one you was talking about, I wouldn't be an atheist. You dumb motherfucker. I ain't got time for the bullshit.
Exactly. Man. Yeah, and you know, that's what I'm saying. They proselytizing. You know, they don't even know what God's name is. And I was about to, before you hung up on, I was gonna say, what's the name of this God? You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're trying to. Okay, so theist, if you're a theist and you're gonna call in, be prepared to give us a name. Okay, give us a name of the person, because you're not gonna ask the police. I mean, the police not gonna say, well, do you know the suspect? Yeah, he has woolly hair and black feet. What's his name?
Yeah. The problem with that is, even if you come here with that, all Christians do not agree on the name, and all Israelites don't agree on the name. That's one of their biggest fights. They don't agree on the name, and you'll be surprised how big of a division that cause. Because one person says his name is this, and one person says his name is that. There's always this, you know. You got to study this, you got to research that. Okay, how about do God come and straighten this situation out and tell us himself? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if even they give you that name, bro, it's still going to be a problem because everybody don't agree on that, even in their own religions. So, I mean, that still right there is like a claim that's going to be made. But, yeah, you're going to be fighting that same claim within your own religion, bro. Like, either way it goes, this whole thing, you look at the whole Bible, it's like it's designed to cause confusion, no matter what you believe.
Mm-hmm. It's designed to cause division. You know what I'm saying? It's like the reason why people think that they're the chosen people and all this stuff is because the fucking Bible says that shit. You know what I'm saying? They not that far off of what the Bible is saying. They just interpreting it the way they interpreting it. But the Bible is written in a way for them to interpret it however they fucking want to interpret. So if the Jews can read it and interpret it as they're the chosen people, then some black people can read it and interpret it as they're the chosen people, then some white people in Utah can read it and say they're the chosen people, then obviously this book is causing this motherfucking confusion. So clearly the Bible was dividing, and you look at the motherfuckers who, you know, gave you the Bible, they was at the top of the game. It was the kings and the queens giving the Bible to the peasants, and they couldn't even fucking read the shit for themselves. They had to be told what it said. It was kind of still what's going on today, but still nobody's saying you can't read the Bible. These motherfuckers just don't do it. They just go get the Bible read to them by their preacher, and the preacher gonna jump around from this verse to that verse to this verse to try to prove his point, instead of just reading the shit all together. And you can see all together, this is a fucking horror story. This ain't nothing but God coming and killing everybody but the Jews. You know what I'm saying? And the Jews supposed to get saved out of slavery so they can go have slaves. What the fuck sense do that make? So again, right. If you call up here, man, just be ready to have a real conversation.
The whole world being destroyed.
Say it again.
I said, how could, even if that's the case, how could you even live after that, knowing the whole world got destroyed because some may have never even heard of the name, or some may be born into another religion or whatever? How could you even go live happily ever after, knowing that the whole world got destroyed, and here you go up there saved because you was quote unquote chosen, you know, which is not the case if you read any deeper.
Yeah, really. You know what I'm saying?
You know?
That just make God a fucking racist, man. Why God gonna make all these people and then choose one group? Like, what's the point of making all the rest of these motherfuckers for? But that shit just stupid, man. But let me see.
But you read it from the Israelite perspective, man. He is racist, and they actually, you know, preach that he's after one people, you know, in the 12 tribes. and the other people are like spittle unto him. That according to the, you know, if you read the 1611 version, then they have the regular 66 books. And most of the Israelites, they read from the 1611 King James Bible with the Apocrypha in it. And they have, that's the original King James book, that the regular 66 books are actually translated from. And even if you read the regular 66 book, if you read in the beginning, it tells you it's translated from the 1611. It's so much in the 1611 that regular Christians have never even heard of before.
Mm-hmm.
So if you read that whole 1611 book, the God in the Bible is a racist God.
True. I'm gonna have to check that shit out myself. This dude, Catholic traditionalist in the chat right now, he says, "Who was the coward that hung up on me?" That was me, bro. Kweli Kush. You don't gotta ask who the coward was. The coward that you're referring to was me, and I'm not a coward. I hung up on you because you couldn't answer a fucking simple question. I asked you like 4 times, which God are you talking about? And you kept talking about the one true God, the one true God. Nigga, that's why you got fucking hung up on. So when you're ready to have a real conversation, not tonight, but next week, call back. You know what I'm saying? I advise you to do your fucking homework first, because if that was what you came in with, you're gonna have a rough go at it with us, bro. You need to come better than that. We've been on the line for a good 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I want to give Ray and Kwame some time to speak before we head out of here. If y'all got anything y'all want to say before we close out, any extra information you want the people to hear, any businesses you got that you want to promote, social media links or whatever you got the flow, Ray.
I just basically want to tell people who are atheists that's actually listening to this, whenever you debating atheist or a non-believer, it ain't always got to be, you know, me against you. We can always come together and try to find out what the truth is. If you got some proof that you think that's undeniable, come with it. It ain't always got to be an argument. It ain't always got to be, you know, all these false and bogus claims that, you know, you would never believe, or, you know, it was one of these things where we Satan worshipers and all that kind of stuff, which atheists don't believe in Satan anyway, you know. But if you really want the truth, you know, you're going to find out what it is, and you're going to want to hear it. Go list all those things that your pastor telling you not to hear, and you'll be surprised that, you know, the things they try to keep you from is going to open your eyes, you know. You just got to get to a point where enough is enough. Tired of manipulation, tired of the control, tired of things are not adding up. You know, when you get yourself to that point, the truth is going to find you no matter what. But yeah, I do got a page that I'm actually just started. I actually posted a video on there, I think yesterday. It's called the Exposing Superficial Beliefs. And, you know, it's just something I'm starting up, you know, and if you want to look at it, you can or whatever, but I'm going to do this, and hopefully, you know, it'll start reaching out to more people. I was on Facebook, and crazy part about it, I was getting like millions of views and different things like that, and Facebook shut me down, man. Like, it wasn't nothing. I started again, I started getting millions of views, and, you know, and they constantly shut me down. So I got to a point like I'm not going to be on Facebook anymore. So I'm just starting up on social media now. So I'll probably type in my page, my actual page on here, and maybe you guys can go there and look at a video or whatever. And other than that, I enjoyed the conversation, man, and I wish both of you guys the best, man. I appreciate what you're doing.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I had fun today, man. Kweli, we starting to get more and more callers, man. But like I said, man, you know, we should let them stay on a little bit longer, man, because I was gonna touch a nerve with it. And you already know where I was gonna go with that.
You can check me out.
For real. Yeah, I was gonna touch a nerve, man, because I was gonna ask him. I said, so this is the same guy that told your people to enslave my ancestors, to beat them and kill them? Oh man, I know that'd have been so controversial.
Yeah, one of them dudes still in the chat complaining about being hung up on.
Oh, well, tell them to call back in. We got 20 minutes on the show. You can call back in. If that's okay with you, Kweli?
Yeah, you can call back in, but he gonna talk to you. Because, hey, man,
yeah,
look,
you can call back.
I'm dead ass serious, bro. Like, once I ask these
man.
folks a simple question and they can't answer the question, I really lose interest in talking to them. Because I know at that point, you don't care about what's really true. You're just trying to win an argument, and you ain't going to necessarily have facts or evidence. You just going to try to trip me up or some shit. And I'm trying to get to the truth of the matter. Like, you ask me a question, I'll answer it. If I don't know, I say I don't know. I say, what's that? You know what I'm saying? Like, brother asked me, like, what's some transcendental? I said, bro, I don't know what that is. What is that? I ain't finna try to act like I know everything and all that shit. These motherfuckers, they can't answer the question, and then they want to tap dance and ask you a question in return. And, well, what's your epistemology? Motherfucker, answer my simple ass question, then I tell you my epistemology. So it don't look like Catholic Catholic traditionalists. It don't look like you gonna call in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you Catholic, man, I really gotta ask you, how are you okay with all your priests fucking little boys in the ass and then moving people around every time they get caught? You know that's what's going on, right? In the Catholic Church. See, in the Christian church, they fuck your wife. In the Catholic Church, they fuck your son. So if you going around calling yourself the Catholic traditionalist,
This word comes from Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin.
Yeah, Eddie Griffin said that.
Yeah. Quote, end quote.
Yeah, man. For everybody watching, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Want to remind everybody to go to our website, KweliKush.com. That's where we have all of our shows and platforms. We got other podcasts, book recommendations daily, blog posts, and it's all centered around free thinking and the black community. And we got merchandise for sale on there as well. Also, we do put this show out as an audio podcast, so you can listen to it wherever you get podcasts, on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. And the book of the day, we already did. The book of the day was the 16 Crucified Saviors. It's in the description if you want to read it. The link is in the description. So if ain't nobody else gonna call in, that's all I got, unless y'all want to say something else.
Yeah, you know, yeah, man, thank you, Kweli Kush, man, for the opportunity, man, be on your show, man. I'm glad we linked up, man, and we have many more, and I'm gonna ask the brother, man, do you want to join the New Atheist Experience? We need more. We need to grow. We need to grow. Shit, me and you both in Texas, man, so we need to grow, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll be glad to do that.
All right. Is Kweli, you cool with that?
Hell yeah, man. So whenever we live, you know what I'm saying, just call in, and it's gonna be like this all the time. It's an open call in show, everybody. So open call in means literally anybody can call in, but the time you spend on here might be limited depending on how well you can hold the conversation and answer questions. But anybody can call the show, and if we like you, you know what I'm saying, you can call the show every time, whether we are on the same team or not. Ultimate Truth call damn near every episode. I don't mind, but when he gets stupid, you know, we gotta hang up on him. But he welcome to call all the time. The only person that's not welcome to call right now is that nigga that owed me $4,000, and he know who he is. So yeah, man, I'm with it, bro. I enjoyed the whole show conversation. I wasn't even in a good mood when we started this shit, because I've been dealing with some shit. So I'm feeling a little better now, man. So I appreciate y'all, because it kind of helped me out a little bit, man. So
yeah, man, you need to get, man, you need to hit the bag a little bit, man. You need to punch the Christian bag, man, the religious bag. I was gonna tell you, man, cause shit, hey, man, we need to punch we need to get on that punching bag, man. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, that's all a punching bag to us, man.
yeah, man.
It's all a punching bag.
Hey, what
talk.
time you guys do on a Sunday?
Usually around the same time, around 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, and it'll be 6 o'clock our time. So, you know, hey, shoot, man, I wish I could exchange numbers with you, brother. But I'm off East Chase and 30, man. You know where the Loftons is? That's where I'm at, man.
Kwame, he called back in.
Huh? Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You got a Facebook page or something like that?
Yeah, it's Kwame.
Facebook page.
It's Kwame Asar Ramesu. Just add a star in between Kwame. Okay, Kwame and Kwame Asar Ramesu.
I'll just create another Facebook page, and then I'll just message you some kind of way. What is it again? Let me get a pen or something.
Yeah, it's Kwame Asar. So like it's spelled. And then Asar is Ausar. And then Ramesu, just like it's spelled, like when you see it on TV, yeah. Well, actually, you can see it in the, well, I don't know if you can see it, but if you're looking at YouTube, then you'll see it.
Yeah, if you go to the description box on YouTube, you'll see my social media links. And if you want to, you can send me a friend request, and I'll send you Kwame's to make it a little bit easier or whatever.
Yeah, cause we gonna be, cause I want to hit the streets, man.
Yeah, and I gotta put.
I want to hit the streets.
I still ain't got your social media links too, so I get that from you after the stream and all that stuff, Kwame, and so I could add that stuff to the descriptions. But somebody is on the line 337. Is that you, Catholic traditionalist?
Yeah, it's Catholic traditionalist.
All right, Kwame, that's the dude. They don't answer the simple question.
I'll deal with the punching bag. I'll deal with the punching bag. You will take a rest, man. I'll deal with the punching bag. So here's my question. Now, answer the question. What's the name of your God?
Yeah, the name of the God that I believe in is the God that is.
That's not a name, sir.
That's my answer to your question. You may not like my answer, but it's an answer.
But okay, so that's what I'm saying. So you got Yahweh, you got Zeus, Thor. What is your God's name? Does your God have a name?
I just answered your question. You do realize I just answered your question. You may not like my answer, but it's an answer.
Okay, so how do you expect us to believe in this is when you can't demonstrate who this is?
Oh, well, I'm going to get you to demonstrate that he exists.
How can I demonstrate something that I never had proven to me?
Well, you see, just by my asking you a few questions, you're going to admit that he exists.
Okay, shoot. We'll see.
Okay, so what do you, well, let me first ask you this. What type of atheist are you? Are you an atheist that makes the claim that there are no gods, or that you simply have a lack of belief in gods or a God?
Lack of belief. I have no evidence that a God exists.
Okay. So you have no evidence that a God exists. That's your claim. So do you, with regards to what you perceive as reality, does it necessitate, if you had to give a yes or no, would you say it necessitates God with regards to it being actualized and sustained?
Repeat that question again, because you kept like you were stumbling over. What did you say now?
Yeah, with regards to everything that you perceive to exist, including yourself in the universe and everything, does it necessitate God or gods for it to be sustained and actualized?
No.
Okay, so then you're not simply someone that lacks belief in God. You're making an affirmative, positive claim that there is no God and gods.
No, that's incorrect. I lack a belief in a God.
Yeah, because the answer to my question, you made a positive claim that there is no God or God that necessitates with regards to actualizing and sustaining everything that is. So you're not holding a neutral position.
No,
Okay, so here's my next question. With regards to you being an atheist, what do you know 100% for a fact to be true? And can you justify it?
Kwame, we can't hear you, bro. I don't know what's up with your sound. Your sound out. We can't hear you.
Okay, I'll repeat my question. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. I can't hear Kwame. But you can repeat your question again. I'll answer it for you since I can't hear. Oh, Kwame, are you back now?
Yeah, my bad. My phone. Yeah, I'm back. No, I'm in a null hypothesis. I'm not making a definitive claim from absolute that there is no God. I'm saying I lack a belief, and there's no evidence for a God for me to believe that the God exists. So I'm in a null hypothesis.
I understand. You said that earlier, but then with regards to the other question that I posed to you, you did make a definitive positive claim whereby you said that there is no God or gods that are necessary with regard to actualizing and sustaining all that is. So you did make a positive claim. So you're not holding a neutral position.
No, key word. You said necessary. That has to be necessary. So I'm saying no to that. You're saying it has to be necessary. which is not saying that.
You said no to that, and because you said no to that, then you're not holding a neutral position.
Why does the God have to be
Do you understand?
for the formation of the? Why does there have to be a? Why does there have to be a necessary?
You don't believe that
God to create it.
So you're not holding a neutral position because you're making a positive claim that he is not necessary. Now I pose another question.
No,
to
I'm
you,
not. I
which
didn't
is
say that.
What do you know
I didn't say that.
100% for a fact to be true as an atheist?
So what now?
What do you know as an atheist to be 100% factual?
As far as what?
What do you know 100% for a fact to be true?
For what to be true? That's what I'm asking. Y'all trying to do this trick.
So anything, whatever it is that you
word
know.
salad shit.
Yeah, whatever it is that you know. So whatever it is that you know, what is it that you believe to be true? 100% for a fact to be true.
Well, what's demonstrated, what's demonstrated, that can be proven. I know some things and I don't know some things. And just because I say I don't know does not prove that I'm right or wrong. I just don't know.
Oh, I see. So things that are demonstrated.
I go by evidence.
Like yes. If a magician demonstrates that he can make a woman float in the air, then it's 100% for a fact to be true that the woman is floating in the air?
No, I would have to investigate it myself. Because, magic is an illusion, right?
So therefore, I know for a fact that then it's not, then you don't know 100% for a fact that demonstration is true. Because many things can be demonstrated, but obviously you would want to be skeptical, right, with regards to the demonstrations, and therefore you can never know 100%. Okay, so with regards to demonstrations of whatever it is, touching, feeling, whatever you're invoking senses, how do you know that anything with regards to what you're perceiving is 100% factually true?
I'm back again. I'm back. I had an incoming call. Yeah, this dude up here trying to use that Willie Lane Craig argument. You've been watching too much Willie Lane Craig.
Okay, so then are you saying
Willie Lane Craig still got his ass by Matt Dillahunty. Willie Lane Craig, the argument you're trying to use come from Willie Lane Craig, and he still got his ass demolished by Matt Dillahunty. You're using that same bullshit ass straw man argument.
Okay, so do you know 100% for a fact that your senses always tell you the truth? Yeah, it's a yes or no answer. I didn't watch the beginning of the show. So is it a yes or no to my question?
Yeah, that's that Willie Lane Craig dude.